For pity's sake, man, that was Jonathan Richmond and the Modern Lovers. Roadrunner, that was. You're listening to Russell Brand on Six Music. I'm here with Matt Morgan. He ain't in charge of the button, so I'm beginning to wonder what the point of him is. You all right, Matt?
Yes.
What are you doing with the... I see someone else is operating your buttons.
Oh, it's all weird up here, isn't it?
We're in Scotland. Trevor Cocky-Lockie's here.
Hello.
You all right, Trev?
I'm all right, but it feels all different up here. It's very unusual, this country, isn't it?
Trevor, I hope that you're going to wait for more than a couple of minutes before attacking our brothers across the border in Scotland, particularly as we're in Scotland, and I like it in Scotland.
I like it. I'm not saying it's different in a
You
bad
are
way.
saying it's
I'm
different.
saying it's different. It's very different, but I like the difference. I hate England.
Trevor, I
love
you
it.
insulted
I
England.
love England.
We're from England.
I like England.
What's wrong with you today?
No, but
This
it's like-
room's different, obviously.
room
the
is very
studio's
different.
different.
All rooms are different from one another. Have you
No,
ever?
they're not.
Like, well, yes, they are. Because think about it, right? Say you go like a journey you do every day, like your journey to work. It's always a bit different, isn't it? If it happened exactly the same way, yeah, that would be weird. That would be uncanny.
Yeah.
That would be unusual. That would be like if on the way to work you saw a person that looked exactly like you, and then he gestured towards your office building and went, "Don't go in there." That would be unusual.
Does that happen to you?
Yeah, it did happen this morning, actually.
There's apparently a clone of you who works in a shoe shop in Camden.
Really?
Someone sent me a message about it.
Well, I'm glad he's doing so well for himself. If you want some shoes and you're in the Camden area and you fancy buying them from someone who looks... a clone or just a bit like me?
A bit like
I don't think it's
I
a
think he
clone,
wants
Russell.
to look like you and he's dressed up as you.
It's nice of you that he wants to look like me. I just wish he'd gone through the stages where I was all fat and homeless as well.
Maybe you did.
Yeah, perhaps he was. Perhaps he was always there, silently, experiencing the things I experienced. So, right, yeah, Six Music. You can join in with this programme if you want. We're up at the Edinburgh Festival now because me, Trev and Matt are doing our sitcom for Radio 2 up here. We're practising it. Also, I'm doing stand-up up here. Trev's doing stand-up this very afternoon, isn't Trev?
I am at 4 o'clock in the wine bar at the Gilded Balloon.
4 o'clock in the wine bar at the Gilded Balloon. So if anyone in the Edinburgh area wanted to have a look at Trevor Clock at around 4 o'clock in a wine bar at the Gilded
Trevor
Balloon...
Clock.
That's my new name. That's my stage name.
It's called him Trevor Clock. You know, all right,
It's quite
I-
good, actually.
I made a mistake, but you know, I'm not prepared to go backwards on this one,
I've got
guys.
to change my
Well,
name just 'cause he's
Trevor
made a
Clock.
mistake.
Talking
That's
of
what
mistakes, before we came in here, Trevor said we were at the Edinburgh Fridgestival.
We're at the edible refrigerator. We're at an edible refrigerator. Like he said, like we're trying to think of topics for the show. We still haven't. I think we should talk about SEX. Yeah, that's
Well,
right,
that's
guys.
a surprise.
The old SEX.
Mate, we could be talking about Tibetan monks and you'd still bring SEX
Them
into it.
Tibetan monks have got a lot of dirty secrets up their cassocks, I wouldn't mind warranting.
Yeah,
Them shiny heads of theirs could be used as body
No,
buffers.
you can't say that. 'cause
I'm not attacking Tibetan monks, and I think that bloody China, they should withdraw. There, you know what, I must never make these sort of remarks because often I'm just left-leaning, right? I'm just left-leaning, so I just...
You're
like,
left-leaning?
I lean to the left on politics, right?
Yeah,
so
but
if
it-
political comes up, I'll just go, right, this way. Oh, I keep banging against my microphone. It's because I'm left-leaning. The microphone's to the left of me. I keep leaning against it. So I will have just impulsive, ill-researched political views, and I'd like, if you are a listener of this show, just to say, well, that's just he's a young man, he's finding his way in the world, he doesn't know that much about China's occupation of Tibet, but intuitively feel that probably Tibet should not have another country
Yeah.
No,
occupying
It's
it.
the Che Guevara syndrome.
No, I'll tell you why he does it. Because he thinks it makes him look sexually attractive.
No, I don't.
You do. You hold.
What I think
you
makes me
hold-
look sexually attractive is my physical appearance, body movement. These things make
That
me
is not going to
sexy.
attract anyone, that dance.
that little
There's
dance.
only used to here. If there were more people here, people that had genitals, let me tell you, they'll be releasing spores now out of their glands.
He always says spores and genitals.
There
always.
is nothing wrong with either spores or jennies, Matt Morgan.
Stands
What
there all
makes Great
tensed up
Britain
like a
great?
little kid having a
He's
tantrum.
got some sort of, sort of neuronic connection between spores and.
I've not seen.
genitals.
Listen, shut up. I've not seen you guys for a week, and I've missed you. Matt, where have you been?
Cornwall,
Why?
because it's nice.
You've been there because it's nice. You went down to Cornwall, didn't you? You
Yes.
little div. Did you have a nice time
Yeah,
down
it's
there?
brilliant down there.
Matt, what's your cultural review going to be today?
It's going to be on a little thing I like to call Cornwall.
Matt's culturally reviewing an area. You can't culturally review an area.
Lazy man.
Well, there's so much to do in Cornwall.
What was one
Just
of the
sounds
things
like
you
you're
did?
working for the Cornish Travel
Went down
Board.
a slate mine.
You went down a slate mine.
Yes.
Don't get onto it now. You'll spoil the
Oh, you-
cultural review.
yes.
You know how he does
Yeah.
it. Sometimes Matt won't even reveal the contents of the cultural review because he thinks people are sat at home on tenterhooks going,
Well, they are
what
now,
will the
Russ.
cultural review be about? Now they know there's a slate mine
I mean, you
involved.
teased that one.
The whole of Cornwall's just lit up.
Of course it has. They probably torch themselves rather than be associated with you. Let's burn this. Somehow this place feels dirty now. No, they don't want independence.
No.
They just want their own demise now. Right, so I think, yeah, come on. Trevor, do you not want to talk about sex because you can't think of a single sexual anecdote?
Why can't we talk about dinners we've had?
Why do you want to talk about dinners
Why do you not want to talk about dinners we've
Because I
had?
can't remember any dinners I've had.
And
That's
why
because all
can't
your
you?
dinners are stupid vegetarian bump.
because when you lot are having your dinners, I'm having sex. That's why. Because it's more entertaining. If someone gives me some sausage and mash, I make a bra out of the mash and I feed those sausages into every orifice.
Go to the bam, go to a track.
I'm not going to bam nothing. What we're talking. Come on, let's talk.
Dinners.
All right, talk about dinner. Right, all right, we'll have a dual thing. If you want to talk about sexual experiences, the first time you had sex, the last time you had sex, the best time you had sex, the worst time you had sex, text us on 64046. Or if you want to talk about dinners you've had, text us on 6 diddly I chai. No, text us on 64046 for that as well. Then we just let people decide. This show, Trevor Locke, belongs to the listeners of Six Music. It's not about our egos, yeah? I don't know, perhaps you don't understand that, Trevor.
I don't know.
Perhaps when you're doing your show at the Gilded Balloon at 4 o'clock in the wine bar, that is about your ego, and that is why it'll be an utter sham, I predict. And that is the only reason I'm going there, along with my associate Matt Morgan, to watch you flounder. I'm going to sit in the front row, nude.
Oh,
nude. Yeah, that's right,
Put
nude.
some clothes on.
I will not wear a
I will
stitch.
not allow you into my auditorium if you're naked.
I'll wear the clothes for the way in, Trev. By all means, I'll wear them on the way in, mate.
Right. When are you going to take them off then?
The moment you start your trite derivative show, I will undress Trevor. That's the only way of entertaining myself in a difficult and stressful time.
Thank you very much.
You're coming, aren't you, Matt?
Well, not now that I've heard you're going to be naked.
Oh, I'd butcher you.
I've seen that once.
Oh, God, if only it was only once, dear, oh dear. And
You
some
say
of the
that, leave
context.
that hanging out there. People think we're
Hey, baby, I have
ex-lovers.
left it hanging out there. That's half the problem.
And it does hang to the left.
It hangs all sorts of ways. Me and Matt are interested in Satanism now, and we're thinking about becoming Satanists.
Yeah.
But that's another thing we've not researched very well. So if you've been negatively affected by Satanism, sorry in advance.
And if you've been positively affected by it, I mean, I'll be interested.
64046.
Exactly.
64046. That's the stuff, Matt. Yeah, I'm doing that sign of the devil now. I want you people to know it. So, yeah. Also, someone's done a kiss and tell on old Russ today in the People. It's from a woman I had it off with about like 9 years ago, doing a kiss and tell on me.
Blimey.
Let me tell you, the years have not been kind. Time's taken its toll. Old Father Time has trudged across her boat race. But, like, you know, hey, she said negative things about me. So, OK, let's have a little bit of music. I think we're going to listen to a Tricky doing that. I got a letter from the government the other day.
Opened it, read it.
It said my STD results were baffling them. No, they're fine. Oh, Christ. So, that's your job now, is it, Matt? Pressing that one green button?
Yeah.
Look at Matt Morgan, who's now perched, like hovering over
I'll
one
tap
button.
it 5 times and then I'll actually press it.
You get 5 little tappity taps,
Little taps.
and then you go for the press.
Don't mock my buttons, mate.
I am mocking your buttons. You don't look like
Don't
you know
even
what
look
you're doing.
over here.
I'm looking
ashamed
at
of
those
this.
buttons. You
This
should
little
be.
rack.
He normally, when we're down in London at Six Music Studios, he hovers above this smorgasbord of technological delights.
It's beautiful, isn't it? It's like an aeroplane.
It's like an aeroplane cockpit. And now,
look
you
at
should
this.
see it, it's like...
It's Fisher-Price sort of thing.
But it's because we're not in the main studio, it's because probably there's a more important radio show going on, I'd imagine. We're not attacking BBC
Hello,
Scotland.
have a
It's
tantrum
lovely.
starting.
There's not a tantrum. That's not a tantrum.
We've had about 4 tantrums from Russell
how are
today.
they tantrums? Let's run through
Shall we
these
run
one
through
more.
them then?
Let's run through them.
Let's run through the first tantrum of the
Yes,
day.
first tantrum of the day.
Was all right. I want the papers. I've got to have all the papers there. So
That's
then,
not a tantrum. We
no.
always have to have the
This is
papers.
the beginning of the tantrum.
How's that a tantrum?
That is
Mark?
the tantrum yet, the
there was loads of
Why
tantrum
has
things.
it been included in the tantrum
Because you will
list?
see in a minute.
Now listen, that slowed us down, and then someone phoned you and said, "Oh, we're on our way there." Well, I'm there now. I'm going back home.
You went home. You
He
got to
went
the
back
studio.
because no one was there. If no one's there, I'm going back home.
And there was people
Say
here.
it in that Michael Wynnard voice. I'm
did.
going back home.
Go
right,
on, then. How
okay.
did you say
How
it?
did you say it?
I said, I'll probably pop off home then.
No,
now.
you didn't.
You hadn't even left it. You were still in your hotel, exhausted, because the pair of you spent all night wrestling like D.H. Lawrence's Women in Love, probably, stood by a fireplace, gripping each other by the
That's
undercarriage.
just silly.
Wasn't
isn't
the
it?
women
This is
in
not a
love that
story
were
about me
wrestling?
having tantrums. This is a story about yous two being late to the studio. I came here on time. I can't do nothing without yous
You
two
can
here.
come in here,
wander
you
around
can-
it.
you can
I
prepare.
get nervous if I don't see people that I know. Stranger danger! Walk away! Stranger danger! Don't touch me! Stranger danger! Back to bed!
Oh dear.
You're not my uncle! You're not my
I
uncle!
wish I had a button to stop all
Bams,
this.
you've got a button.
I've got
Bams.
one.
That's a
Hold on,
perfect
come
moment to
on.
bam.
we've
Hang on, so that's tantrum 1.
Right, that's
We'll let
tantrum
you off
one
that
has already
tantrum.
been dismissed as unprofessionalism of cog leagues 1. Yeah,
Cog
cog
leagues?
leagues.
Cog leagues.
Yeah, that's what he's Trevor Clock, and you pair of you are clog leagues. You're a league of Dutch footwear.
Okay, should we
So,
listen to
what's
music now?
Tantrum 2?
Tantrum 2 is probably the music you didn't like.
Oh, the music.
Didn't put my music in the playlist.
You like loads of these records. Some of
do.
these bands you
I do
introduced.
like
Some of these bands you introduced me to, and just because you didn't pick them first on this Sunday, suddenly it's not your songs anymore, is it?
I'm saying I picked
I
eight
pick
songs.
music and they're not in the thing. And
not
frankly, when you turn the mics on, I won't do the show.
I did not say when it's this time I'm a posh general sort of character. When the mics come on, I'll simply look out the window and muse about by the heads on the wall. I said it'd be good
Well,
if the tracks I selected were in the show.
We said, we had to burn the songs and bring them up from London.
It
He goes,
seems that
Well, I've simply left the presenting of the show in London. There it is.
Listen, what you're actually exposing is that I love this show. I care about this show. Used to relate. The person that's in charge of putting the tracks together, I believe he's called John, has not put the tracks together. You know, so essentially what I'm exposing is that Six Music is badly run. That's all I mean. I love the radio show, but it's very good, and I will endeavour to do my best here. But for heaven's sakes, I can't carry everything. I've got a lot of pressure on
it's
me.
heartbreaking.
Trevor, turn your phone off, Trev! What's wrong with you? Why don't you understand the basic tenets of radio?
Mate, I'm a maverick. I'm my own man.
You are a maverick.
That's
you
my
are
own
your
phone.
own man.
It's my own phone.
Trevor,
I'll let it go on.
just put your clothes on, dear, and let's get on with the radio show. So we'll be either talking about sex or dinners. You decide, to borrow a catchphrase. Matt, you all right, mate?
Yes.
Looking forward to your cultural review.
Yes.
Why do you swallow sick then before you'd had it? Are you looking forward to cultural review? Oh, yes. It'll be nice. Trevor, stop fiddling with your phone. What's wrong with you? What's the matter?
Well,
It's like having Metal Mickey in the studio making toast, you bungling twerp.
I like pressing the buttons.
Doing a sonic. Oh, you're a lovely lad. That's because Trevor always wanted to be in charge of the buttons when we were deciding how to make this
I
radio
did.
show.
And I thought I
He
did
was in
very
charge
well.
of them once and it was good.
It was a shambles.
It wasn't, though, was
He
it?
wasn't.
That
He
was
was
the
good at the
ironic
buttons.
Do you remember that time when he put music on during the news?
That wasn't him. Oh, yeah, it was him, wasn't
It was
it?
Trevor, yeah. Trevor just
Trevor
put
did-
music on during the news.
And he was laughing.
He was laughing, right? There'd been some tragedy or massacre
Mate,
across
I'm a
our lovely
maverick.
planet.
thing. We need cheering up sometimes.
Trevor, you being a maverick does not entitle. Here's a list of things that being a maverick does not entitle you to do. 1. Put music on in the news. 2. Use children to experiment on in a variety of ways. That is the end of my list of things that being a maverick does not entitle you to do. So we'll be talking about either sex or dinners. It's dependent on you. Look, I'll tell you why. You know, I don't want to go on about how's your father all the time. Look at this thing in the People today, then, chaps. I've not read it yet, so you know it might be embarrassing.
Are you sure you don't want to go on about how's your father all the time?
No,
I don't want to go on about it. I've got some papers here.
Is that why you wanted... Did you know you were in them? Is that why you said you needed the papers?
We always have the papers, don't we?
But does someone phone you in the mornings and go, Ross, you're in the People?
No, I don't get phoned up by Ted Moore from Brasseye and told that I'm in the People. Right, here's this thing. This is about a girl I had it off with 8 or 9 years ago. Mamma mia, but Russell could not satisfy Elkie. TV
So
Russell...
nothing's changed in 9 years?
Oh, you're hilarious, aren't you? Here am I, one of the great sex people of Great Britain, and you have the gall to sit there, drunk, and insult me.
drunk.
You're drunk,
I'm
Matthew.
sober.
Oddball, outrageous Big Brother host Russell Brand dumped a stunning Spanish girl halfway through a date so he could bed an ABBA tribute star. I don't remember that bit of it.
Maybe because you were having dinner with her at the time.
Dinners! It is a hot topic. People like having dinners, Trev. I've always said this. Dinners or sex, it's up to you, 64046. The self-styled love god. I'm not a self-styled love god.
He's not a
Styles
stylist,
it.
so...
Yes, yeah.
That style is lacquered on by team flunkies. No, I've not styled myself as a love god. I've not ever gone out and gone, I'd like to be regarded as a love god, if I may. Have I?
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
It's ridiculous.
Who are the
statement to
other
make
love
about-
gods?
Not
Not like
Charlton
Aphrodite
Heston
and stuff.
and Venus. The self-styled love god was out on the town with a busty brunette when he spotted his old stage school crush, Elkie Hayward. Elkie Hayward. Elkie Hayward is the person that this sex story is about. Brown was so desperate to get the Frida impersonality Elkie into bed that he dumped his stunning date on the spot and got his mates to escort the tearful girl from the pub. I don't remember that happening, but then it was a long time ago and I was on drugs at the time. That's the difficult thing about having spent a lot of your life on drugs. People can accuse you of things and you don't know whether you've done them or not. Oh no, that was just an announcement. People can just make I remember every second of that drug hell, and let me tell you, nothing illegal took place except for the drugs themselves, which were bloody awful. Madcap TV host Brand, when he got his hand on Elkie's lovely 32 Chiquitas, he turned out to be a big letdown. Honey blonde Elkie, 33, who sings all the lyrics. Why do you keep going on about her being in an ABBA tribute band?
Well, she's got another side to her. She's not just one of your little lovers, is she? She's got a full rounded dimension to her.
She's
personality.
agreed to sell the story if they'll promote the fact that she's in an ABBA tribute band.
Yeah,
obviously.
Oh. Well, if you're interested in ABBA tribute bands, if you want to listen to ABBA,
a lot of people are.
Listen to ABBA.
A lot of people
A
are.
lot of money in ABBA tributes.
Right, I love it. It's got a bullet-pointed list of things. Made her go Mamma Mia when she saw his pasty white skinny body. I've got a pasty white skinny body. I've got a nice little skinny body. And I'm not that skinny, as a matter of fact. There's been a lot of stories this week, well, 3, of saying Telly Beanpole Brand, that I'm too skinny and I'm a bad role model.
No. Telly Beanpole?
Telly Beanpole. That sounds like as if you've got that
nice.
instead of an aerial. So, we've got a Telly Beanpole. I mean, we had an aerial for a while, but it kept getting in my eyes. Telly Beanpole made me go, my body made her go Mamma Mia because it was all white skinny. And then another bullet point. This is, when they in the papers, they embolden a word to give it emphasis.
I do.
Well, they've done it here. They've given it a bullet point and emboldened it for emphasis. Felt! That's not an aggressive word. Felt like sending out an SOS when he failed to satisfy her in bed. Left her screaming, gimme, 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 and then open brackets, another man after midnight, close brackets. After his performance lasted barely a minute.
Barely a third of an ABBA song.
But you could listen to...
the chorus, probably, in one verse.
Yeah. A chorus and one verse, the sex would be down. This isn't true. After barely a minute, he said, he gave me a cocky striptease revealing his pasty white body. Right, also, the people phoned up, like they phoned me out and go, oh, you've got a story on you, makes you look really good and that. Would you like to give a quote? And you read it, says that I'm pasty and skinny and that, and I do sexy striptease. I would not have
Who would do a striptease?
Not me.
Are you sure?
I wouldn't, because you know me. I don't like dancing and things like that.
Yeah.
He wouldn't do a striptease. He'll pretend about some poetry or something. That's what he'd do.
Pretend about some poetry. You know there are poems in the world, don't you? Well, I wrote one of them. Anyway, about this sex we're having. Left and right. So he gave a cocky striptease. I revealed my pasty white body that I don't have. I'm actually quite brown.
It's swarthy.
It's quite
swarthy.
brown. Yeah.
Broad-shouldered. Trim.
Yeah.
Svelte, some would say. My nan used to say, I built like a tailor's dummy. Built like a tailor's dummy, that boy.
You remind me of Heathcliff.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's me, it's Kathy, I've come home now. That's very kind of you to say so. He was ever so attractive.
Well, he was dusky, wasn't he? Some said
Dusky.
he was the son of an Indian prince.
Some say that today.
Well, some did.
Some have been saying it.
Well,
He's the son of an Indian prince.
she left it deliberately obscure. Liverpool
Good.
then was a major port, wasn't it?
Well, I'm glad that some people say that. Right, we should go. He revealed his pasty white body, right, and this is the people said this is a positive story. I suddenly thought, what am I doing? But it was too late to turn back. He got me naked and pounded on top of me like a rabid dog, looking at me like those crazed eyes. I didn't pound on top of her like a rabid
Do you
dog.
remember this event?
I remember this girl, Elkie.
Do you remember this event? Was it a one-off?
She came back. This is when I lived in Willesden Green in London for a bit. It weren't a nice flat. I lived there with a couple of right nutters. They were people I went to drama school with. They were all right lads, really, but they were a bit balmy. We all were. It was crazy days. I took her back home with me, this girl, and as I recall, it was just a relatively ordinary sexual performance. I don't, I wouldn't say it wasn't one.
The pastiness, the dancing.
It was all there. The strip, the pastiness, check, strip, check, pounding like a rabid dog, check. Right, well, it's got all the tenets.
Crazy eyes, check. Taxi
rolling
home.
around. So yeah, I mean, none of this weird stuff happened. Crazy eyes. Our first romp. Our first romp. Oh, we had a romp. I'm trying to romp with Will you keep the noise down? My wife and I are having a romp. I remember perhaps explaining to a child the facts of life. Well, your mother and I romped. And then 9 months later, you came out. Romp is not a very nice piece of language. Our first romp kind of lasted more than a minute, but I put it down to him being overexcited that he's apparently got it with his school crush. It wasn't a school crush, it's just this girl. The singer with Aber Inferno. She thought it met him at Italia Conti, where I went when I was 16, after school age, where she thought he was just a skinny, lippy boy. Nearly a decade later, Brown was starting to make his name on the stand-up comedy circuit when he ran into Elkie in a London pub. She said he had this stunning Spanish girl with him. He looked familiar, but I couldn't place it. Then my friend said it was Russell Brand. Suddenly bounded up to our table. I'm always being accused of bounding up to things. I don't
boogieing.
bound. Bounding, boogieing. I don't bound or boogie.
He minces, doesn't he?
If any, I
He
meander.
totters, actually. Me and Trevor were talking about
I
the
do
way-
not totter.
You do,
'Cause
mate, with those heels.
Russell bought me a pair of shoes that are like his shoes with high heels, and someone told me, Kat told me,
You
my
totter.
girlfriend, that you have to walk on the weight on your front of your foot when
don't-
in high heels. But
Yeah.
you don't. You have your weight in your heels and you totter about like a right dolly bird.
I
And-
do not totter like a dolly
And
bird.
Edinburgh's cobbled street, so you've got to watch out for that.
Okay.
We saw you last night tittering off into the distance.
You should have looked after me last night.
Well, you shouldn't have
you
walked into a
stitched us
club
up.
without us coming in
I
after
didn't
you.
stitch you up. I was behind you. People, I stopped to have my photo
The
done
bouncer
with
said,
some
stop,
people.
wait there, and then we had to wait there because we're normal people. Then you went in like a film star.
Why didn't you come and help me? I was
the
very
bouncer didn't
nearly.
let us in.
Oh, someone touched me
Did
in
they?
an inexplicable way.
I got a
felt
weird
feelings I've
text
never
in the
felt
middle of the
before.
night saying,
You must protect me in future. I got woken up and scrambled to my phone.
Because you've gone home and abandoned old Russ. We're meant to be friends.
I
You
was
walked
tired.
in past a security guard who didn't recognise
That
us.
was it. You'd already abandoned me at that
We
point. I was
hadn't.
scrambling to get somewhere safe.
We were in
should've-
a queue.
I was there, mate.
It's a lovely evening. I was having ever such a nice time. It was pleasant. It's nice.
Glad you enjoyed yourselves.
Well, glad you. Listen, I don't know what's wrong with you today. Blah blah blah. Anyway, we'll do this. Should we have some news?
We have to have
and
news.
then we've got to have some news, haven't we? And
Yeah.
then we'll
Come back on the
we'll
ABBA.
dissect this.
I mean, they call it news. but-
Weird. There's got a photo of me aged 19 where they've cropped out the nice bits of my hair. Weird. Russell aged 19. Weird. He was simply weird. That's all there is to it.
What's this thing you whispered?
Oh, right, this is a really funny bit. We've just still been reading that article. Text us on 64046.
Turn your phone off.
Turn your
Text us
phone
something.
off.
Yeah, I will turn it off. Yeah, but look, we're reading this expose thing. You can text us on 64046 or my own phone if you like. Text us on 64046 or email us at russell.sixmusic@bbc.co.uk. And what you can tell us about is either dinners, if you want,
Dinners
or
you've had.
sex. Don't say dinners you've had. Dinners that you've had.
Not imaginary dinners, not
dinners
fantasy
that you dare
dinners.
to have.
Dinners you saw through a window. It's dinners you've had.
Yeah.
Like in a
That'll
cartoon
be
or
next
something.
week's topic.
Pie cooling on a shelf.
A pie on the shelf. Pies are never left to cool on a windowsill like in the dandy, are they? I've looked at over 9 windowsills in my life and only 7% of those had pies on. And yes, I did take that pie and I did run off and eat it with a sort of a neckerchief thing and it did have cow's horns coming out of it.
Do it again.
I'd do it again, given half a chance. So this expose on me in the People by this bird, Elkie Haywood. Time has not been kind. Says,
Oh, get her.
oh blimey! Oh, look at you, dear. She says I've got a skinny white. Unless I've got to match something as cruel as skinny, pasty white body.
But she's talking about you in the past.
Don't turn the other cheek, Russ.
Turn the other cheek like Jesus.
Well,
Turn the other pale, skinny little cheek.
I can't keep turning my skinny little cheeks. One of the bloody things will fall off.
then pull your trousers up.
Listen to this ridiculous bit of thing, right? Like she goes to her. Oh, then I went to her. Goes, hey, are you Elkie Haywood from Italia Conti? As if I would say that. Hey, you Ronnie Wood. are you Elkie Haywood from Italia Conti? When I said yes, he stared at me intensely and revealed he used to have a massive crush on me. Then Elkie watched in amazement as Brand went back to his date, whispered something which made her cry, and then signalled to his mates to take her out. I'm not a gangster. I don't.
Yeah, that's odd.
Go up to her, whisper something in her ear and make her cry. You will never be happy. You will die alone. I'm not gonna whisper something and then signal to my mates to take her out. I've not got then that's like 10 years ago. Even now I don't have anyone like that could exact that. I'm not part of the mafia.
Of course you could.
Could I?
I
Get out
wouldn't
on a
do
date
anything.
with you, having a dinner with you, for example, and
Yeah.
then you suddenly whisper and go, I'm bored of this dinner with you, I want to have dinner with her.
Yeah.
That would make someone cry, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but I'd never done that. I'm a nice
I
lad.
would never done that.
I would never done that now as our soul's album.
Matt. He'll get it right.
Guess what though? Once during a dinner, this is a terrible thing. The girl I was with went to the toilet. Went to
Never
the
came
toilet.
back?
No, I nicked her purse while she was in the lavvy. What was I thinking? What was I thinking?
Did you what? And then
That's funny.
Then
I was
when
on
she
drugs.
came back, you'd gone.
No, I stayed for the rest of the date. You know, for
With
a
her
bit of
purse.
Ashley father.
And then she went, "Oh, where's my purse?" And you went, "I don't know."
Don't know, terrible, isn't it, life?
But I will seek it out.
I'll get this purse back for you. I will not rest till this purse has been reclaimed.
Did you find it? Did you play the hero and give it her back?
No, just
I
spent
found it, but all the money and cards have gone. But here it is.
Here's the purse anyway. If it's got any sentimental value, you could have it, I suppose. Actually, I also spent the same. I mean, the villain spent any sentimental value that it could have had. The next, anyway, back to this thing. She goes, all right, goes back, went to my mates to take out this girl that I've just whispered in the ear of. Elkie said, it was cruel, but I was enjoying his attention. Why should I cry? It was a bit cruel, but I thought, hey, Elkie, do you want me to kick this deer to death for you? I just left a long-term relationship, so I thought, what the hell? He spent the next few hours plying me with beer and compliments, and I couldn't resist going back to his flat. Beer and compliments.
You don't flow beer around.
Well, I think this is 10 years ago. I
I
would
know,
have.
but you never used to drink beer, did you?
I'd drink vodka straight from the bottle, things like that. That was more my scene, man.
I remember that in your little handbag. little bottle of vodka that you used to make sure everyone saw.
Yep, I'm on
that
the
old
edge.
thing. It's 9 a.m, but I've drank almost half that.
I feel a bit sick, actually. Someone take me home. Right, I plied her with beer and took her back to my flat. I didn't do that. He took me straight to his bedroom and opened the door. There was a pile of crumpled, dirty clothes in one corner and a double mattress on the floor. It screamed out, shag pad. Screams out poverty. Doesn't scream out shag. Welcome to the shag pad. Well, if it's dirty clothes or double mattresses, we've got something to cater for you. Christ.
Shag pad.
Shag pad. Who wants
Dog's
that
bed.
screamed out? It does scream dog's bed. We sat on the edge of the mattress. I can't see that like it's a canyon. We sat on the edge of the mattress and surveyed the spectacular views available from there. The views of the pile of clothes and the UB40. We sat on the edge of the mattress. He gently kissed and fondled me. He was so obsessed with my big breasts, he couldn't look at my face.
That's not the only reason.
No, bloody, have you seen it? The face is in the paper. We sat on the edge of her, No, she's actually quite a nice girl. I'm only saying.
No, cool, yeah.
Fine, yeah. Hey, we're all friends here.
Why
Hey,
did you
we're
talk
mature.
about Cliff Richard now?
I don't know.
That's a really nice girl, so...
She's really nice, just great fun. Hey, if they're ever bored of Wimbledon, yeah, it starts raining. I'll entertain you, poor sods. Come on. Hey, Peggy Sue.
Peggy Sue?
I don't know, he
Nice.
mentions things like that. Then he stood up and started to do this cocky striptease, better than doing a strippy cock
Hey,
tease.
we've had this bit.
Look, he's mentioned twice. He said he wanted us naked as soon as possible. He was so flamboyant, but once he had his clothes off, I couldn't get his pasty white skinny body out of my mind. I didn't put it in her mind. There was nothing to him anywhere. Nothing to him anywhere, suggesting there's something wrong with my lovely dinkle. After undressing me, he eased me onto the bed, manoeuvred me into this slightly awkward sideways position, and started panting and romping on top of me. It was weird. She remembers this well for 9 years ago.
Why has it suddenly come out now? What sort of...
She's money in it now.
She just got out of hospital or something?
The coma's only just subsided, Matt. It just took her a while to get over it. It was weird. It was over nearly as soon as it came, but I took it as a compliment. He was so pleased to have been with me after fancying me those years earlier. Next morning, Russell romped with her again in the same odd pose. I guess it was his favourite position. I don't know why. I was actually quite scared looking in those eyes of his. Why say things like that? There's nothing wrong with my eyes.
How's she
I've got-
looking in your eyes if you're
In this weird
sideways
position?
This is all lies.
I've not got eyes all around my head like a tiara. Afterwards, Russell insisted on holding her hand as he walked her to the tube. Oh, it sounds like I'm quite a nice lad.
romantic boy.
Walked her to the tube, everything, and made her promise to meet for a second date. He seemed besotted, like a puppy. You know how puppies are besotted with things? Oh, yeah. Look at this puppy. It's obsessed with Renaissance art. He seemed besotted. I'm loud and mad, and so is he. And although he wasn't boyfriend material, I agreed on a second date. We met in a pub. After a few beers, I'd realised I'd missed my last train home, so I gave him a chance to redeem himself. Got to his bedroom, and all was going well. Then he launched into his rabid dog act again. Got a rabid dog act.
This story goes on forever.
It's ridiculous. Nothing's happening in it. Da 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 da. Absolute
And it actually doesn't have, it's not clear that she's the wronged party.
Well, she's not. She's just showing off.
She's just weird. She said that,
Silly.
he wanted
There's
to
no
hold my
point-
hand.
There's no point to it.
It doesn't,
There's no point to
it's not
it.
Just
clear.
give me some money, because once I did it with him.
I was a nice lad. I was just trying my hardest, and I don't know if I was as good at sex then as I am now, but I know I would have tried my hardest.
Of course you would have done.
That's all anyone
Like
can do.
any
ain't it?
rabid dog does.
They do.
All
those
us
rabid
rabid dogs want
They're
is to
focused.
pass on rabies and to get the bloody job done. And by Jove, we'll do it. Oh, look, we've got some text messages. Hey, Russell, you actually rated number 42 in the world's 100 sexiest men in Company magazine. Love, Katie. Number 42. I wonder who's
Was it 100?
There's 142.
That's all right.
It's not bad. It's disappointingly low, really.
Well,
isn't
you've
it?
come on a long way since you were a weird 19-year-old.
When I was a weird, pasty, skinny 19-year-old. I really like gammon. Thanks. That's from Mikey F.
See, dinners. It's the thing.
Ah, dinners. I wondered why he was saying it. He likes gammon. Yeah, I remember gammon. You'd have that when you were younger.
There's ham, isn't it?
It's
With a
Thick bits of ham,
bit
a
of
bit of fat
pineapple on
around
it.
it, and a bit of pineapple, yeah. I read Russell has rented a flat in Edinburgh specifically for seduction. I want to know how it's specifically designed for rudeness, so I can imagine it to embellish my own sexual fantasies.
Yeah.
You've made Sundays better with your hilarious rantings. Love, Michelle and Chingford.
I need to talk to you about this flat.
Yes.
Well, the flat ain't like how it said in the News of the World the other week. It's just a normal
that is
flat.
A disappointment.
Because me and Trevor,
Yeah.
there's
Come
no
and live
hotel
with us.
for us. We've got to live with you.
Why are you under my roof, you lads? You
I
live
know.
by my rules. Here are just a few of them. Trousers and pants will be removed at the door. I will expect you to remain taut and buoyant at all times. I never know when I might want to spike myself.
That's ridiculous.
I know, I'm only joking.
What?
I didn't mean
So
it.
is there more than one room, or we all
Actually, there's 2 bedrooms. One's for me.
you? Yeah. And so me and Trevor are sharing a bed.
Sharing a bed, yes.
What's this? And your mum's staying there as well?
She's not sleeping with you two. She ain't here yet. If this is you angering to have sex with my mother, Matt, for Christ's sake, I've given you everything.
Oh,
I'm
come
so I
on.
love these two so much, and now they keep pushing the
I've
boundaries.
just got greedy.
He literally, I mean, you have been like a father to me, but I still don't want you to have sex with my mother. I mean, you know, there's got to be, and you have to
Obviously,
be,
I'm talking about space. I'm
What, you're
talking
talking about space? The final frontier?
Yes.
Wormholes?
Well, we all got. Everyone who knows you has been packed into your spare room.
G's in there at the moment, poet of the show. He's staying tonight as well.
Does he
like
have to write a poem about
So where
what
am I-
goes on in your flat?
No, he
by
does
the
not.
end of
If
the
he writes a
morning?
poem about that,
Oh, right.
all our careers will be destroyed. No, nothing goes on in that flat. I've not done anything.
Me and Trevor staying there tonight.
Yeah.
So
It's
what's-
going to be lovely. We're all living together, flatmates. That would be a good topic for
Yeah,
a show.
you've got
wouldn't
your
it?
own bedroom.
Yeah.
Me,
The best
well, we've
sex-
got our own bedroom. Me, you, and Julie.
Me, you, and G.
Yous lads, you 3 of you, you're going to be like the original Odd Couple, but there'll be 3 of you. It'll be brilliant. The best sex I have, Russ, is with anyone as long as I pretend it's you. Oh, thank you, Deborah of Birmingham.
Oh, I don't read things like that out.
Well, all she has to do is imagine a skinny, pasty body and then a rabid dog rutting at her side. And you can accurately recreate that. The people have printed a phone number there. Let's ring up the people and pretend that we're someone.
Don't say it, because then
Oh,
they'll
right.
prepare themselves.
People, we are not going to do that. You silly sods, we actually are. Yeah, we'll ring up the people and we'll pretend to be someone doing a kiss and tell. We've done it before with the mirror. That went well, except once we let Trevor do it, it was turned into an absolute farce.
That got in the paper, the one I did.
Yeah, I know, Trevor. It said, 6 music show disappoints listeners with contrived phone call. That was good, actually. You have to eat dinners to have the energy to have sex. That's what I find, says Addy. That's a very good point. The two things are connected. I'd like to talk about sexual dinners. That's my aim for the morning. I had a telly bean pole, but I couldn't pick up Channel 5. I cried. Much love. Sally from Liverpool. People all over the country listening to us. Disappointed. They're enjoying the show. So yeah, text us on 64046, send us emails on Russell. You know that email address, don't make me say it out there because it makes me feel confused. Noel Gallagher's going to be on the show later. That'd be nice. We haven't spoken to Noel for ages. Apparently he's a bit ill. He's got flu, but also he's recently got back from Ibiza. What a coincidence. Oh, suddenly feels all ill, but he's just got back from Ibiza. Oh yeah, it'd be flu then. Yeah.
What else would it be?
I remember when Jimi Hendrix died of the flu. Terrible time. Yeah, well, I don't know. That'd be nice to have a chat with Noel Gallagher. We're doing a competition for 6 Music a little bit later in the show. Matt's got his cultural review. Trevor's going to be doing his Sonic Enigma. Competition winners from last week are here, Paul and Mark. They're going to be joining us for the Sonic Enigma. G will be doing one of his poems. We've got Jem Brister. She's a comic who's at the Edinburgh Festival. She's coming on. Lots of people will turn up here. It's going to be a right bloody laugh. So, we're talking about sex and dinners, it seems. We've had a whole host of emails. We've got to call up the people. We'll do that in the next link, all right? But let's have a little chat about some of these emails. Hi, Russell, Matt and Trev, says Sheila Van Loo. Hey, Sheila.
Hey,
I love
Sheila.
the show and listen every week, but you're treading on dodgy ground this morning. I'm a Cornish girlie, and us Cornish are proud people, so don't slag us off, matey.
I'm not going to.
Matt, are you going to slag them off in your cultural
I'm
review?
considering moving to Cornwall.
It's a lovely place. I went there once. I liked it there. Cool. We're not slagging off anywhere in Great Britain. We love this country and all the countries of Earth, in fact. I think you should combine the concepts of sex and dinners. It would be best of both worlds, says Sebastian in Manchester. Well, what do you mean?
Have you ever used food in sex?
Yeah, I always get distracted by the food or the sex, you know. Because if you're eating some chocolate off of someone's legs, I'm thinking, nice chocolate. You know,
I think it spoils the chocolate and it spoils the legs.
Oh, Trevor! You shouldn't be having sex anyway. Look at you ridiculous creature. 4 o'clock, Gildy Balloon Wine Bar. Trevor Locke will be telling us about his sex life. That won't take long, but it will make you vomit in your own mouth. That's Trevor Locke's sex life. 4 o'clock at the Gildy Balloon Wine Bar. Buy a ticket. Are there any tickets available yet, Trev? Still?
There are none left. Yes, there are. There are loads left.
What's the phone
Not loads
number?
left, there's some left.
What's the phone number to get tickets?
Don't know.
You idiot. Just going O. Just
find-
dial O and see what happens to you.
0131
0131
668.
You liar, you don't know the
Don't
number.
make up a number.
Gildy
Oh, yeah.
Balloon, get down there. I'm going to be there, Matt's going to be down there. It promises to be one of the disappointing experiences of the
sleep
Fringe
before that.
Festival.
I've got 2 tickets to give away on this show.
Oh, it's a competition.
Yeah.
All right, let's do a competition about
Yeah,
it. You can
okay.
text on 6406 or you can email us. How are they going to win them, Trev?
I'm going to think of a competition in a
Let's
minute.
think of the competition now.
All
Come
right,
on, we're
well-
radio people. We're meant to be innovative young radio makers.
Should it be a competition where there's an answer that's correct, or should it be a competition
Oh,
where...
you dither into it. Should it be? Should it be? Can I this? Can I that?
Well, there
I
you
think I rubbed someone once and I think I want to marry her. Trevor, you've got to learn to make decisions for yourself. I can't hold your hand or any other part of you for the rest of your life, can I?
You can't
Can
even
I?
do it for 5 minutes.
I can't,
That's
Trevor.
all I asked.
I don't want to
5
hold
minutes.
on to you.
That public toilet was frightening.
Trevor's trousers were once found in a public toilet. Do you remember that episode of the
It
show,
wasn't a
Matt?
public toilet, it was a pub.
Toilet.
It wasn't a
It was a
pub.
pub toilet, Trevor. The word toilet was in it.
I changed in the toilet. I went to change
You
the toilet.
changed into a pervert and you've never been the same since, and it's sickening. So,
So you need to set up a competition.
Yeah,
right,
all right.
come on, Matt, you're good at thinking.
I think
Think one of those thoughts you think.
if you can name
Boy.
the name of a previous show that I've done at the Edinburgh Festival, then you'll win 2.
Oh, so
No
it's
one
boring.
cares. Well, just got to Google you.
Hold on. What you could do is think of something that Trevor has to do in his show. Like he has
Yeah,
to
he's got to
reveal a
do
body part.
something.
He can do something in his stand-up act. You know,
Okay.
he'll do 5 minutes
All right.
talking about a subject that you'll name.
Fine.
And the one we pick, you're the winner. We'll have to give
Done.
away loads of them just to get a bloody audience. Now, actually, the tickets are selling that well,
Selling
aren't
out,
they?
well, it's a hot ticket.
Trevor is a brilliant stand-up comedian.
He
I mean,
is. He was very good last
We watched
night.
you last night, didn't we, Trev?
Thank you very much
Very
for coming
good.
along.
Performing in a church.
Yes.
Who's that bloke? Matt said he's a cross between Peter Tatchell and Neil Tennant. What was his name?
Well, his name is Peter Tennant.
That's
There you
what,
are, perfect.
that's why I said that. It was purely on his name.
Oh, I see. But as it turned out, he was a cross between those two
He
things.
was a bit, wasn't
He's like one of them camp comics, wasn't he?
He's a
Yeah.
singer.
Oh, right, he was a singer.
He's
he?
a singer.
that
Well, he's a
the bit
singer
where
comedian.
the man played the piano and he sang the song. Do you remember that one?
All I remember was just trying to get. I was just gripping my seat, praying for the experience to pass. No, it was good. I enjoyed it. It was great. I had a nice evening. Then Trevor came on. Now, what was that you were doing?
Yeah, it was an expressive dance, wasn't it?
We were all very worried. He came out brandishing the microphone as if it were a weapon.
Came out with such aggression. He's a
Incredibly
different person
aggressive
to
to
the
an
person he
audience.
is
I
on
shouldn't
this
have been
show.
that aggressive, should I?
It's a different persona. At one point, I leaned over to Matthew and I goes, "What exactly is he trying to emphasise here? As what part of his character is he using?
It's
What is
madness.
this about?"
But it was good.
It's really
funny.
brilliant. There's
I
some
like
great
that Father
jokes.
Christmas stuff.
Don't ruin it. That's a really good joke. There's loads of good jokes. But what I think is, Trevor, are you an unhappy person?
Yeah, of course I am.
Well, good. There's an email here from Luke Gray. He goes, "Hello. Other forms of welcoming are available. Good to get into the nomenclature of the show. I've been picking on the wrong fella, so I've decided to bully on someone else, someone more deserving. Don't worry, Russell, it's not you, as you're a comedy hero of old Luke's, but it's in fact morbid, moany Matt Morgan. I just really don't like him, plus a girl which I like fancies him, which angers up the blood, and I will now have to experience have him experience the kind of challenges that Trevor endured. 1. Cut off a bit of Trevor's hair and eat it, Matt. The hair he chooses can be from anywhere on his body.
That's original.
2. Tape
the same ones that I
Didn't
had
Trevor
to do.
actually eat your hair once because
Yes.
of Luke?
Yeah. Tape sellotape on Matt's eyeballs, giving him a sort of retina wax job. Ruby would be proud. 3. Get some paper and give Matt paper cuts in different parts of his body, e.g. tongue, eyelid, willy, etc. Trevor, I'm worried about Luke.
Why doesn't Luke come down here and I'll fight him?
There's a challenge.
He would like
Luke's
that.
nice, Matt, don't be so aggressive to our listeners. Luke's a nice
He just
lad.
said he wants
I've got a
to
text
wax
from
my
Luke.
eyeballs.
I've got a text from
He's
Luke here.
being
He
nice,
said-
he's playful. He likes you, really. He admires you. He's a young man. Come
doesn't.
on, give
He
people
said
a break. He
he's-
doesn't admire you. Oh, go on.
Listen what he's texted me.
Yeah.
We should talk about how annoying Matt Morgan is. Poke him in
See?
the eye and
Matt's
read the
brilliant.
challenges. The Swan.
The Swan, interesting.
Right,
Meddling
well,
with our things.
Yeah.
My
Matt,
fight
declare
stands.
your hatred for Scotland and the Red Hot Chili Peppers, even though you like both of these things. Lick the road outside.
Just
Odd
ignore him,
requests
he's silly.
from Luke. Look, I like Luke, as a matter of fact, and I think he's joking. I think he loves you, Matt. How could anybody not, unless
He's
they've
just
met
jealous because you've nicked his bird off him.
you? Have you been... Matthew, what kind of life you living, son?
Who's his bad?
I don't
what
know.
Are you talking about?
Here's a
girly
message
nose
from...
fancies you.
Shut up, you weirdos. Here's a message here from Jen. It goes, not Jen Brister, the comedian who's coming on our show in a minute, someone else. Imagine that, same name, different people. What kind of crazy world we're living in
Surely
now?
there's more names to go round.
Surely, there's enough names. Almost any sound could be a name, and yet there's no one yet called Catwheel. And I think it's a sad thing for our culture. I'm a 22-year-old vegetarian virgin.
you're not.
I know, but this person, Jen, is. I'm a 22-year-old vegetarian virgin. What does that mean?
She hasn't
never
had vegetarian
food.
food.
Never
Or
had
she's a
vegetarian
virgin.
food,
Or she uses vegetarian... No.
she hasn't yet.
Exciting, says how Jenny.
All her
well done,
cucumbers
love.
are intact.
She probably is a virgin.
Well, good. You know, what do you... Is that a challenge,
question.
Matt? Have I
That is a
got?
good thing to
Must
be.
I have sex with every virgin in this country? I mustn't. Hello, boys, says Paul Ridley. I often like to enjoy my dinner with a bit of sex. A lot of people are talking about this combination, and God bless them for that. Only last night I combined gobbling down my dinner of carrots, parsnips, and a pork sausage with having sex with my wife. Nice. I find you have to be careful with the gravy, however. That's Paul. Nice one, Paul. That's a good contribution, mate.
I
Thanks.
don't think you can do it. I don't think it's actually possible. I think these are funny ideas, but I don't think it's possible.
Well, let's think about times we've involved... Like, some people like to involve mayonnaise in sex because it's
Sure, but
savoury.
that is not having your dinner, is it? I mean, mayonnaise...
Who would have just mayonnaise? It's a condiment at best.
Exactly.
Honey, I've
Honey,
used.
you've used honey.
Horrible.
Too sticky, goes
Too
everywhere.
much, too
Honey in
much.
hair? Who needs that?
Honey in hair is not nice.
Honey in hair is a revolting thing.
I've never done it.
I've not... Let me think. No. Oh, yeah, I
A
once had a
chocolate.
shepherd's pie off of someone's back.
Yeah.
Chocolate.
Do you remember that chocolate fountain?
Oh, yeah, that's good. Me and Matt once was... don't say it and then tell me not to. We were at a party once for a TV coming in. There's a chocolate fountain there. Matt goes, oh, let's get this girl over here.
No,
Right,
I didn't.
yes,
The girl
you
came
did.
over.
Right, and then there's a chocolate fountain, and we was all dabbing bits of chocolate on our faces. Then we all went home together, the three of us. And I think things happened of a sexual nature, didn't they, Matt? Me, you, and a girl,
I
all
cannot
nude,
remember.
in a room.
What happened to the chocolate?
She's dead now. Oh, the chocolate, and the girl's all right. She's had a lovely time, and the chocolate, we left it there, Trev. It was attached to a fountain. It weren't ours. It's a lovely party, and nice, that girl. We
I
had
don't really remember that, but anyway.
You were drunk,
I
that's
just-
why. I had to do it sober. At one point,
Yeah, move on, you idiot.
well, it's nice to... It's all right to have consensual threesomes. It's a laugh. I'd like to make it very clear that me and Matt didn't touch each other during that. We're not those sort of boys.
I thought you did.
No, well, once, but inadvertently, just because of...
Caused an argument.
Just because of body geography. Yeah, and once... Oh, yeah, there once...
Yes, come on, move on.
Something went on Matt's leg, and he got ever so aggressive and tried to do a tit-for-tat attack back afterwards. The girl
Wasn't
said,
chocolate
"This is-"
then.
She goes, this is ruining the atmosphere. Matt's using sex as a weapon. It's
lie.
ridiculous.
Bizarre fantasies you have.
You brought it up, you silly sod. Why would you? When it must have been in your head when you reminded me of that. Oh, Russell will tell this story now.
Who cares?
I'm-
Who
I'm
cares? We'll all
nervous
be
about
dead
it's all
soon.
in the
Plus, we're
past.
going to be Satanists soon. So
I
we
don't
got-
want to move in with you guys now.
You are living in a room with Matt Morgan,
Please, if
and if
you're in
that
the Edinburgh
boy
area and you have a spare room, I would
Don't
relish
let
it.
Trevor- let me tell
you'll
you.
be living with some killer fan.
yeah,
He'll be
Don't-
like Misery.
It will be like misery, especially for the fan having to put up with you in their house. Absolute woe it'll be. Okay, text on 64046, email us if you want. Remember Trevor's competition to get tickets for
What
Trevor's
is the
show.
competition?
Suggest something that Trevor has to talk about for 1 minute during the show.
1 minute. I'll do 1
And then
minute.
Trevor,
What
will,
we
if
got
you
listen to
win,
him for
Trevor will
one
talk
whole
about
minute?
it. No, not on the show, in his
right.
show.
Oh, okay.
In the stand-up. Then you get to come to the gig, see him explore that theme for 1
That's
minute.
quite good.
It's quite good.
Got a good
It's
idea.
Good prize.
Good idea. Hey, I'm an innovative young TV guy. And this is radio, is it? What we're doing now? I don't
think
know.
so.
It's all lovely anyway. I like talking to people. It's great fun. Right, so that was good because that was all coming all around the country had to be involved in that chaos. So yeah, you listen to Russell Brand on Six Music. I'm here with Matt Morgan. You right, Matt?
Yeah, a bit embarrassed.
Why are you embarrassed?
No,
Because of the
don't
threesome story. I don't worry about that. You said that you're a Satanist now. You don't have to care about anything. Trev, are you all right, dear?
I'm very well, mate. I'm very chip-chop.
Looking forward to the show. You're chip chop, are you?
Yeah,
that's
So
not
you're
even a
so
thing.
upbeat, they're inventing words.
Yeah.
Crikey, if perhaps Shakespeare was something like you, but I imagine you
Well,
must have had some talent as well. So you're doing a show at 4 o'clock, Gilded Balloon Wine Bar. We can get tickets. There's that competition is. Text us something that Trevor has to talk about for 1 minute during his show. If we like your 1 minute best, you will get free tickets to come and see the show, which is at 4 o'clock at the Gilded Balloon today. We're doing a contest now. It's called the Indian Summer Competition. All this week on Six Music.
Sounds like a little boy reading out at assembly. Doing a contest
Now. It's an Indian Summer Contest. We're giving you a chance to win tickets to Scotland's newest music event. Why, that's Indian Summer, of course. It takes place in Victoria Park in Glasgow's West End and features Yeah Yeah Yeahs, The Fall, Yola, Tengo, Hot Chip, Guillemots and Anthony and the Johnsons and others. There will be other people. That's not all of them. Don't think, oh, it's just them, I'm not going to go.
Well, that's pretty good
That's
lineup,
good.
if you
Yeah
like
Yeah
that sort
Yeahs,
of
Hot
thing.
Chip, Guillemots, Anthony and the Johnsons. They're all good people. Yeah Yeah Yeahs. If you're free on if you're free, this is lovely because I'm reading this off a bit of paper in case. I mean, I think I hid it quite well, but here is the sound of that paper. If you're free on Saturday the 2nd, are you free? Have a look. If you're free on the 2nd and 3rd of September, you can make your way to Glasgow. That's their way of saying we're not paying for the transport, so forget about that. You can get yourself there. Or perhaps you're already there.
Maybe you live there.
This is good. If you're in Glasgow
If you're
now,
Glaswegian.
guess what, right? Honestly, I shouldn't say it, but if you're from Glasgow, then you have a higher chance of winning because they'll look at it and go, look, this person's already in Glasgow. Let them win. Well, they will. That's the way it
Do you
works.
think that's the way the world works?
Matt, I'm sorry to say that is the world we live in.
God.
You cynic.
Do you I'm not a cynic.
I'm
an
meant
optimist.
to be cynical, and I think that's...
Matt-
I
That's
don't
a
think
cynical
so.
one.
I think if they get the right answer to the question,
They've
they'll
got
be
a
given
chance.
the tickets, no questions asked,
Yeah,
and
but
then they
hold
can do what
on.
they
If you're down in Cornwall, you know you've got to pay to get up to this
Oi,
thing.
Slap
don't
them on
talk
eBay.
about Cornwall.
Slap them
I
on
love
eBay.
Cornwall! What are you saying, Trevor?
Slap them on eBay.
Slap them on eBay, the tickets.
Cornwall.
That's
Try
wrong,
and sell
isn't it?
Cornwall. No, the tickets. Make a profit out of it.
Oh,
Make
Trev!
profit out of something that
It's
has
like
been
having half a
done
daily on
for
the show.
art.
Why don't you say everything about people? Everything's about money, isn't it, Trev? Everything's about money.
Ultimately.
Right, come on, finish this competition
All right.
thing.
Right, there's 3 questions. Right, let's choose which question is between us. The question can either be, which Scottish city has an international festival as well as a fringe? Well, that's obvious, isn't it? Because we're at that festival
Well,
now.
let's not have that question then.
What, you think it's too obvious?
Too
so we can
obvious.
reveal the answer. It's Edinburgh.
Oh,
Right.
God.
It's not going to be that one. That is not going to be the question. Or the question could be, Prestwick Airport was the only place in the UK ever visited by which singing icon?
That's easy.
A lot of icons don't sing. They
not-
just
it's-
stand about. Yeah, go on.
That's
you think-
quite a good one, I think.
No, it's
Right, all right,
easy.
so far that's in the lead, because we're not going to do the one that's the
I
answer's
think most
Edinburgh, 'cause
people
we already
know that.
revealed it.
Most people know it.
Yeah, but they have to do one that people know, because otherwise people won't ring in, and this is
They've got
probably
the
a
internet, people have got the
revenue-making
internet,
device.
they've got reference books.
Well, you're the one who asked a boring question about your
Yeah,
past
that was
shows.
boring. Can you name one of my previous fringe
Well, 'cause
shows?
at least I get
I
some
was in one and I
was
can't
I
name
wearing
it.
on my final show,
Look,
Edinburgh
at least then
2002?
I've got some people that like me in the audience rather than people that are going to come along and, you know, take their clothes off.
Trevor
and
gets hate
wince
mail
at-
on his MySpace account, which he essentially uses as a grooming network. And then one of it, people say things like, "Eat your fudge, you C-word." Of all the things to call Trevor Locke, if you could see this man's angelic, Noel Gallagher himself described as Alan Jones, but a bit more of a tosser. If you could see his little boat race, you'd think, oh, how
No.
can anyone call him a C-word?
That's why I'm trying to quell the hatred for me now.
You're trying to quell
Before, I
hatred
don't
for
want it to
you.
get to those levels.
Oh, what you do? Because Luke's trying to strike up
Yeah.
hating you.
Oh,
just
I
got a
like
text
Luke,
message
really.
from
He's
Luke.
all right.
Oh, Luke's
Tell
a nice
Matt
lad.
that I will fight him with all Luke's might.
All Luke.
Talk about how...
Interesting
about
that,
yourself in the
Luke.
third
Oh,
person.
dear, that's a nasty little thing he says at the end.
See, I think that let's have a big fight.
Matthew, we don't want to organise fights on our radio show. We're lovers, not fighters, in the words of Michael Jackson. And it never did him any harm, did it? Did it? Can anyone remember an instance where that philosophy got Michael Jackson into trouble? Even one little example. None of us can. Let's move on.
Indian Summer.
So, well, oh
Yeah,
yeah, right,
finish
so this
this one.
content. All right, the third question could be, which Scottish band included the Reed brothers in their lineup?
Oh, well.
Right, maybe we could do that one because it's related to Scotland.
It's related to
So they're all related to Scotland, actually.
Well, no.
Number
yes,
two,
they
isn't it? He doesn't know that there's a place in Scotland.
I don't know about airports, mate. I've been out living my life, ripping it up, baby. Not going, I wonder where the airports are.
Talking about airports, the security to get up
Talking
here.
about, why do you keep going? I've noticed you going lately.
That's professional
Talking about
radio, mate.
airports, why don't you just go, what is security? Say what you're going to say about security
I don't
being stepped
speak
up
like
because we're under the threat of international terror and complain because you had to take your
Just because you
stupid
sailed up
shoes
here
off.
on business class.
I didn't sail up here on business class. I came up here on economy. That was
Did ya?
a tantrum that you didn't even have to witness. Helen, who works with me, Helen goes, we're getting on that flight. Because they went, well, goes, is it, while we're getting the ticket, goes, is it economy or business class? And the bloke went economy. And Helen went, we're getting on that flight.
Really?
And I went, okay. And I just thought, because someone
Blimey.
tells me what to do, sometimes I'll just do the right thing, you know.
Sometimes.
I don't mind.
Sometimes
It was
I
all right.
think
It didn't make that much difference. And remember, I used to be poor, so I'm not bothered
What about our
it.
cheeky fun bus that's coming back down from
Oh
Scotland?
my God, we're travelling back down on what can only be described as a logistics nightmare. We're like, you know, it's a bit rocky. We're travelling from Scotland. Next week we're at the Reading Festival and we're travelling from here in Edinburgh, where we are, to Reading on a cheeky little fun bus. But we've all got beds on it. But the trying to hire this bus has been like, people have been like trying to conjure up a new colour. It's like people like just completely unable to do it. The bus that was initially suggested, it did like there's 5 of us travelling down, and it goes, does it sleep 5 people? Yes, it sleeps 5 people. Are there any conditions for that? Yes. What are the conditions? That 4 of those people will be in the same bed, and the fun bus must be stationary. What kind of fun bus is it? What kind of fun is that? For Christ's sake. Anyway, if you want to talk about dinners or sex, text us on 64046. Noel Gallagher's going to have a chat with us
do the
later.
competition.
Trevor Locke, if you want to come and see
haven't
Trevor's
finished
show.
this competition, have we?
This one. Oh, bloody hell.
We are
Right, Indian
so
Summer.
pro.
What question do you want it to be? Do you want it to be
Reed
the
Brothers.
answer
Reed
is
Brothers.
Reed Brothers.
the Reed Brothers one, not the Elvis Presley
So
answer?
read it out, do the setup and then read out the question.
All
then.
right. If you want to go to this thing in Victoria Park, Glasgow, where the
Festival,
yeahs will be,
Indian Summer.
Yola, Tango, Hot Chip, Guillemots, all that. If you want to come, it'll be a brilliant festival, I'm sure. You've got to tell us the answer to this inquiry that I'm about to make. Excuse me? Which Scottish band included the Reed Brothers in their lineup? And the answer to that is something that is written down and I really find it hard not to read out. I don't know why. Call us on 08700 100 600 or text us on 64046, the normal thing, or email us on that normal email that you can, and then you could win that. Also, you could win that cocky Trevor Locke thing. So if you want to enter any of our contests, do. That is the only advice I can offer you. So, yeah, there you go. So you can go to that thing if you want. I advise people in the north part of these islands to pay particular attention to that competition because there's more chance of you actually getting there. Right, so what else have we got to do? Matt's Cultural Views coming up. Cocky Trevor Lockie's going to be doing a Sonic Enigma. Jen Brister, comedian here out of Fringe, doing very well this year, is going to be coming on our show talking to us about stuff. Well, Trevor, why is your mouth aghast and open? What's the problem?
I'm shocked at those newses that you've just told us.
News is already plural, you imbecile! What's wrong with you, Trevor? Next we'll be talking about sheeps or something, and probably in a context that will sicken all animal lovers. You poor, poor man. What should we do?
That's a
I'm
new
from
record.
Barcelona. We're from
Have
Barcelona.
you heard it? Have you heard it?
I've not heard I'm from Barcelona.
Sounds like,
We're
a,
from
feast on it,
Barcelona.
sounds like a novelty record.
Mate, it's
That's,
good. No, it's a good
I'm
record.
from Barcelona by We're from
I
Barcelona.
love this.
Right,
I
we
love this
cut-
record.
Right, what should we call our record? I'm from Barcelona. What should we call our band? We're from Barcelona. What are you doing now? I'm going to Barcelona.
Well-
What's your favourite football team? I mean, like, okay, well, let's not judge him yet. Let's judge a man by his work. A system that led to this verdict on Trevor Locke. Utter crap. Now, let's listen to
Hold on,
I'm
let's
from
peel
Barcelona.
this back. How dare you say
Trevor
that?
Locke, we love Trevor Locke. 4 o'clock, the Gilder Balloon Wine Bar. Still might be tickets remaining. Send in your answer to that competition. We'll all be there. It's going to be the
don't-
event of the Fringe.
I
If
don't know
by
if it's-
event you mean disappointment. What's
I
up?
don't know if it's my headphones, but
What's the matter?
He is shouting, Matthew.
shouting.
Yes,
I
he
do
is
shout.
painful.
I will shout, Matthew. People will shout. If you have secret threesomes, expect to be shouted at.
Wasn't a
That is the
secret.
way the world works. Well, you go, oh, I hope my mum's not listening. You know, you weren't bothered at the time, were you?
well, there wasn't very much chance of my mum listening to that, was there?
Well, I was recording some of it, and I do send Sue Morgan tapes of most of our sexual activities. That poor woman.
Sue. Six Music.
Had a text message here. This is Russell Brown on Six Music incidentally with Matt Morgan and Trevor Locke. That's for those people just talking just now. I apologise for those in advance. I had sex with a dinner lady once, and then she made me chocolate concrete. It was nice. Steve-O from Brum.
Is that true?
I wonder, Steve-O,
not.
I'd like to know, mate, were you at school when you had it off with a dinner lady?
And were you a
not.
headmaster at the time?
And dinner ladies at my school, nice though they were, I wouldn't have wanted to have it off with them.
Then
No.
most of mine were in their 60s.
They were like nans.
They were like nans.
They were in a category with a nan.
If you fell over and hurt your knee, they cleaned you up.
They cleaned you up.
They were
put
nice.
you back on the road to
I just had
righteousness.
a memory of a story about you and a dinner.
Go on.
What about that old man's dinner you stole?
What old man's dinner that I stole?
Champneys.
Oh God, I went to this elf spa and I wasn't very well. I was very tired. I'd not had no dinner.
So everything he tells has got some big, huge story.
Oh, yeah, he's always...
Before. I was on drugs, I was drunk.
I've had a difficult childhood.
So this is post-drugs, wasn't it?
All right, just flag that up. Yeah, it was. I went down to this elf spa. You got there, they wouldn't let you have no food. Right, I go, can I have some food? I'm hungry. And the bloke, they go, no, there's no food here because we're elf spa. You have to eat at times that we allocate. And I goes, well, look, I'm hungry. And they goes, oh, we can probably get you a pop out and get you a sandwich. Because I don't want to say from a garage forecourt, come to this spa. Get us a bit.
What was your voice like when you said that?
I want something from a garage forecourt. We're a spa, for Christ's sake. And then the bloke then sort of went to the restaurant and go like, okay, well we'll try and get something for you. Like, what do you want? It was this little old doddery old man that they'd give a job. So you know how they sometimes give old people jobs just so they cling on to life for a bit longer.
Don't say
They
that.
do
What if
do
one of
that.
them's listening and then has a moment of realisation and dies?
It should be a
That would be
release.
terrible. That would be
It'd
wrong.
a release, if anything.
A release. Death might not be bad. Let's not forget that. None of us know what lies in that undiscovered
Do you know what
country.
Plato said?
What'd he say, mate? What'd he
said,
say?
Death is not the worst thing that can befall a man.
Right, and that's not my words, Plato.
And where's Plato
One
now?
of the
He's
most loved characters of Walt Disney's World of Wonder. So if Plato reckons that if Plato's a stupid joke, isn't it? If Plato reckons it's all right, who cares? So yeah. Anyway, this fella, he was old. He was wearing a waistcoat and that, and he goes, "Oh well, you know, what would you like to eat?" I goes, "Well, you know, I'm vegetarian." "Oh, vegetarian?" I goes, "Yes. Can I have some vegetarian food?" I go, "Well, I'm not sure we've got anything. What do you usually eat?" And I went, "Whatever I like." That's, that's terrible, isn't it? Whatever I like. Stone monuments, ivies, Pinocchio hats. I was really exhausted. It was a very difficult time for me that day down in Champneys. I was under a lot of pressure and I ended up pooing in a jacuzzi later on in the day, truth be known.
I know.
It's difficult. Anyway, that man goes, "If you want," my mic keeps going in and out. What's going on? Like it goes,
It's not.
really? He goes, "Do you want to have, like," he goes, "If you want, I could get you my dinner," said this little old man. I goes, "Yeah, thanks. I'll have that then."
Did you really?
Yeah.
And
What
how
was
did
his
you
dinner?
feel?
Sated. After I ate that dinner right up nice and tight.
And you didn't feel about him anything bad?
He liked me, that man. We got on really well. He told me that he'd like been at a hotel before and Frank Sinatra had come and stayed, and he said that frankly he was less trouble. But like,
So hang on, what was the dinner?
it was some pasta with parmesan on it, sort of like tortellini, but a vegetarian version of it. And like, well, he came over to see if it was all right.
He came over hoping that you might offer him a bite.
He come over and goes, "Is that
Poor
all right?
man.
Is that all right, sir?" And like, but
Can
by
I
now
have a
I was
bit?
on the phone, probably trying to get someone fired. I think. I go like eating pasta. He goes, "Is that all right, sir?" I'm like, "Yeah, fine." Michael Winner in it down my throat. I listened. You know, none of us is perfect, and the fact that I own up to these things means I'm a well-rounded, vulnerable man.
Yeah.
And
It means you're
like,
just
you
a
know,
little bit schizophrenic, that's all.
I've had trouble with mental illness all of my life, Trevor, and I'm glad that you see fit to ridicule that fact. So, right, hold on, let's have a look at some of the text messages. These cans keep going in and out, Adam. It's enough worrying. Oh, should we talk to the people?
Talk to the people.
Right, let's talk to the people. Right, what we do. Right, the people printed that story about me earlier, saying that I'd had it off with that girl who I had it off with, but they made it sound like I weren't very good at sex. Now, that's unforgivable, isn't it? When we all know that I'm, at best, I'm good at sex. I've been practising it so hard. Right, let's have a talk to the people now. Because, you know, they print at the bottom of the page, "Oh, if you've got a story on someone, ring this number." We're just ringing that number now. We should go through to it any second, then we'll talk to the people. Hello? Hello? Ian? What seems to be the trouble? Oh,
How do you know their name?
I'm talking to Ian. Ian is the engineer here. He's standing baffled in a room, just floundering around. And we're watching him through a glass. It's like watching a lobster slowly asphyxiate in a fish tank. So, okay, well, what we'll do is we'll do that in the next link. Perhaps while the record's on, we'll do some technical tests. Okay, we've got some emails and stuff here. Okay. Maybe next week have Luke in for half hour and get the listeners to challenge Luke. I'm sure it's what people want, says Aaron. Oh, that's interesting. The body is not a plate, it's a platter of its own, a veritable buffet. Besides, we all know that men can't multitask, and who will be left to clean up the mess is Sarah. That's a good point.
Buffet?
That's a good
Yeah,
reason.
can I just say that
Buffet.
it's
buffet.
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 Yeah.
Not
Buffet.
buffet. A buffet. We're having a buffet. I had a buffet. I really enjoyed the buffet. Trev should spend a minute talking about when you put an ice cube in a tepid drink and the ice cracks. Phil Paget. You can come, Phil, for that if you want. That's good, isn't it?
Is he around?
I bet Phil's not around.
Where
You've
does
got to
Phil
be at
live?
the Edinburgh Festival to enter this competition, otherwise you can't come to the show at 4 o'clock this afternoon.
4
at the
o'clock this
Gilded
afternoon,
Balloon
Gilded
Wine
Balloon
Bar.
Wine Bar. Come to it. How much does it cost to come?
I don't know what the tickets are. It's,
What do you reckon? £8?
yeah.
You're joking,
Do I
aren't
have
you?
How much
pay?
it costs
Not
to come and
paying
see
that,
you?
come and see you. I don't know, Trevor, but what you'll get is a well-crafted, experienced stand-up comedian trying his best to entertain an audience, not a man having a mental breakdown and weeing in his boxer shorts.
Which is which?
Speaking of Cornwall, in a place called Treasure Park in Cornwall. Look, someone doing your style of links here, Matt. Oh, speaking of Cornwall, speaking of Cornwall, in a place called Treasure Park in Cornwall, they have an actual car from Back to the Future on display. Did you go there, Matt, or were you too busy looking at witches?
To be honest, I was looking at...
What are all these
what's the
weird noises?
going
That
through my
is an
head?
eerie,
Is
spooky,
eerie.
magical bit of
That was
Merlin
Cornwall.
music.
That's
we've
what happens in
mentioned
Cornwall.
That sort of
Cornwall
noise,
without
vibration.
respect.
I was
Edinburgh's
looking at
got
old
ghosts.
things, not really Back to the Future things, which is sort of future old.
Future old. Everything will be old one day, Matt. Even you should remember that when you're laughing at that old
Quite
man in
old
the
now. I'm
restaurant.
29 now.
Talk about manually... Oh, crikey. I just Trevor, this is a suggestion for you. Well, actually, there's actually nothing wrong with this sentence. Talk about manually masturbating animals for artificial insemination for 1 minute, says Mark von Marvin III, Earl of Essex, who I think is not a real Earl.
Okay,
I'd like to
Mark,
offer
if you're
that.
in the Edinburgh area and genuinely would like to win these tickets,
Matt,
I'll do that.
Trevor will be prepared to talk about that for 1
What
minute.
about that? I read about that once. This man had to do that for monkeys, and
What? A man has to do what for monkeys?
Like that?
What?
Because he said something surprising.
I know this man did that for monkeys. You know
He
that
artificially
he worked in a zoo and
monkey-
he had to masturbate the monkeys.
masturbate a monkey.
Sorry, mum.
So, wait, mum. So your mum is disappointed
Yes,
enough in your
yes, shut up,
threesomes.
you
The one
idiot.
about effing about with a monkey
It was a long time
stinkle.
ago. I was
That
single.
would
I don't
make her
care.
proud. You're saving a species, at least that
Right.
way.
Anyway,
What, the species of monkey?
Yeah.
I didn't do this to a monkey. This man did.
Don't try and
What
get
were
out of
you
it now.
doing
You've
with a monkey?
admitted to
I-
your mother that you once touched up a monkey
No,
till
I
it,
didn't.
it issued stuff out of its monkey
There was a
part.
man I read who did that job in a zoo, and some of the monkeys.
What were
after
you
he'd done
doing
it-
while you were reading
Listen,
it?
you'll like
Touching
this.
yourself
you'll
up
like
your
this.
bottom.
You'll like this. You disgust me.
I love you.
Shut up for a minute.
Go on then.
Oh, some of the monkeys afterwards, he had to cuddle them because the monkeys wanted to cuddle afterwards.
Oh,
So
like the monkey
it's
after
true,
he
yeah.
ejaculated. They're like the opposite of you. A man who kicks the door open immediately if threesome ends and gets on his way home. Terrible. Don't think I might need a little cuddle sometimes. I'm joking. Me and Matt are
disgusting.
heterosexuals.
It's a
We're
long
just mucking
time
around.
ago.
Long time ago, we're all single. News. A lot of things have happened lately on this lovely
I don't
planet
like this
of
show
ours.
anymore. I'm going home.
Why are you going home?
That's the news, mate. I've quit.
That would be some news we could all enjoy. Trevor's effing around. Trevor, this is actually a radio show we're doing. What are you doing on your phone?
Texting a listener
Why?
because they're annoying me.
Trevor, you can communicate with the listeners through the microphone. We're doing a radio
I don't
programme.
want
Why
to
are you
encourage
texting them?
I don't want to encourage them.
We can't individually text everyone that listens to this show. Perhaps we can. Perhaps listeners are dropping off in such great numbers that we can just pop round their houses and have one of our bonhomie-ridden, inconsequential natterings within their front room. Matt, why are you caressing your forehead as
I've
if
got
you've
a
just
real
had the
bad
worst news
headache.
ever?
I've had a headache for about 3-4 days.
Well, you deserve them the way you lived in the past, all them threesomes. What's your mum going to think? Why do you bring
up,
these
you
things
idiot.
up? Yeah, I'm here with Matt Morgan. You all right, mate?
Yes, very well.
I'm here with Cocky Trevor
Got a
Lockie.
headache though.
Oh, you've got a headache. When people say, "Oh, you all right, Matt?" Don't, for God's sake,
not
tell
an
them how you are.
invitation.
Otherwise, you'd have to list your moral inventory that includes numerous threesomes. Trevor, how are you, dear? What's the matter?
I can't say anything to that, can I?
Oh.
I've just learnt my lesson.
Oh,
See?
so I think we
See?
all know that the real answer is Trevor's a massive pervert.
How are
I've got
you,
a-
Russell?
I feel really, really nice today. We're doing a radio show. It's fun to play. Enjoying life at the Edinburgh Fresh Dribble, as Trevor Locke calls it. He can't talk at all. One day we'll be dead, so we better live now. That woman in the people was a bloody stupid cow. We're gonna call the people now and do a prank phone call. They might be listening to this, so we'll get bugger all. Should we put the thing through the desk? All on the mic. Should we put it through the desk? Right, okay, so we're gonna...
Competition winners on the line.
The competition winners on the line. They're not the people. We've not even revealed the competition. Put the phone down to the competition winner. We don't need to talk to the competition winner now. Put us through to the people.
What a confusing man.
I'm a confusing man, honestly.
It started with a song.
And ended with...
Put the phone down on the winner of the competition.
I don't want any winners of competitions cluttering up our radio show. Get rid of them.
No, because then
They're going to get it. We've not built up the moment, you silly sod. We've not gone,
We just talked about it. Well, in that record,
Yeah, we
said
asked
we'll do
the
competition
question.
winner.
But first, the people.
We just said
What are you going to say? It's better be good. You've built this up too
I've
much
built it
now.
up too much. I don't care. It'll be good. It'll be bad.
Flippant attitude.
I'm not flippant.
If you'd entered the competition
So what if I'm flippant?
and were
Who
told
cares?
recently that you'd won, we apologise for cutting
You
you
still
off.
won. We're going to get you back in a second when we've built it up, so it'll be an exciting moment. You watch how this is going to pan out great, Trev. I've got a good feeling about this. I really have.
Okay. They already know they've won. They've had the phone put down on them, but yeah, we built it up.
That's part of the prize. Having a phone put down on you. Sexy. Teases it. You know,
does,
if you're
doesn't it?
waiting... Of course it does, Trevor. If you've found someone you're in love with them...
I love it when they put the phone down on me.
The heart never yearns for that which is easily acquired, Trevor Locke.
right.
The heart never yearns for that which is easily
That's
acquired.
not true at all.
Yes,
Oh,
it is. How can it yearn?
Sometimes you think, oh, I really want crunchy nut cornflakes.
Yeah, but it's
Go
not
and get 'em.
yearning,
No,
is it?
you're not
You know,
yearning for that with
Other
your heart,
cornflakes
are
are
you?
available, and they can be just as crunchy and as nutty, but they're they're not that particular brand. So you don't yearn for a crunchy type of cornflakes. You don't
You
go,
don't
I
yearn
must
for
have
anything.
them.
You just text them.
The heart never texts for that which is easily acquired. I yearn for a lot of things, Matt. My life is defined by yearning. Yearning for unity. Yearning for peace and freedom and equality amongst all of us.
Yearning for a Hollywood career.
That's going to happen. It's unstoppable. Right, so, OK, what we've got to do now, we've got to get the people on the phone. How's that going? Right, well, here we go then. We've been ready for it for about a month.
It's probably just some people on the phone. I think he's just...
Yeah, the people.
Some
We
people.
keep saying that, going, we've got to talk to the people.
The
I keep-
people.
He
think
doesn't
we've got to make
understand.
some
He's
sort
just
of
making
address.
random phone calls.
Two people. Not in a Fidel Castro way, talk to the
I've got
people.
indigestion now.
Fraternity. Oh, hello. Could this be?
I heard a clip.
Right, I better think of a voice. I'll talk like a woman. Hello. Yeah, hello. I'll be called Sandra. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Is that the people, Trevor? I'm not talking to you. Hello? Is that... Right,
Don't look at me then.
this prank phone call, the only people that are being pranked are the listeners. Oh, that is through to the people, isn't it? I just heard people in the background.
Some people.
Are you people there? Answer us. What kind of newspaper doesn't address people that phone them up? Only a newspaper with something to hide. Are they there, Ian? Are we connected?
This is mysterious. This
It's
is
odd,
like-
isn't it? It's like a pestering phone call in reverse. You know,
Yeah,
some
office
people.
noise. You're going to like a photocopy or something going on.
Yeah,
They're cowardly.
the people are cowardly.
He said they hung up.
They hung up.
They hung up.
We
See,
just-
that's
we
because
just
we
talked
told it
ourselves.
on air. We said it. So anyone who's listening would phone them up and go, you know, who worked there. Oh, look, they're going to do a
They're
prank
going to
phone
do
call.
a prank phone call. They would like it. It's
Who
good
reads the
value.
people anyway?
Not many people.
I don't know
Not
what
very
the
many.
It's
people-
odd that it's called the people because no people read it. It's mostly used to line rabbit hutches. I think. I don't know. I think they don't even read it. What is that background
I
noise?
think that's Mark Sheldon down in London.
Well, we can. I think I need a crikey.
Well, anyway,
It's the
we've
most
got to ditch that
chaotic radio
idea
show.
because it's rubbish.
This is from Sebastian. It's not really a rubbish idea, Matt. The Olympics would be rubbish if we let lunatics organise it. Dear brilliant Russell, amiable Matt, and that tedious, unstable, despicable, egomaniac, malformed chimera of a being known simply as Trevor Locke. I think Matt and Trevor should have a war. I support Matt in the war. Everyone must declare their allegiance. Also, eat your fudge, Trevor, says Sebastian in Manchester. Eat your fudge, Trevor. Have you had any fudge today? We're up in Scotland. What have you been doing?
I haven't had any fudge
Eat
since I've
some
been
haggis.
up here. I'd like some haggis.
Go and eat a haggis.
Eat some shortbread and some fudge.
I'd like some... all of that. I'd like it.
Why's your blood sugar levels, Trev? I'm terrified that they're
all
very
over
low.
The place. They're all over.
Why
What's been
is that?
going on about this?
Well, like, they're unstable. I should have had some blood tests done on.
You should have had some fudge.
blood
Eat some
tests.
fudge, Trev.
No.
It's just a
Eat
knock-on
some
effect of
fudge, you see.
I'm hypoglycemic.
You bloody see. Eat some fudge.
I went to the doctor. He said have some blood tests.
Is this what we're going to have to put up with? I went to the doctor. I'm hypoglycemic. Is this what your show's going to be like at the Gilded Balloon at 4 o'clock at the Gilded Balloon Wine Bar?
No, it's all fantasy. That is. It's all.
It's going to be brilliant there. I'm looking forward to it.
good.
Be excellent.
What, could you go into shock or anything?
Could I go into shock?
I'd go into shock if he said something interesting. Trevor, you're always claiming to be on the precipice of some disorder. Oh, I think I might be diabetic. Oh, I think I might be hypoglycemic.
That's what the doctors
I thought I
tell
might
me,
have
that's-
the doctors. Who are these doctors?
Well,
It's like having Jackie Onassis on the show. Who are all these medics that are poring over your every move and every body
Come on,
part?
Russell, you're in dangerous territory there.
Why?
Talking about medics pouring over you.
Yeah.
Why? What have I done?
Walls down Harley Street, aren't you? Chucking money at any idea that's come along.
Really? Lasers, you say, on the inside of a man's bum? Fire away, boys. Right, OK, well, let's listen to a track now and get ourselves together, for Christ's sake. Why don't you read out an email, Trevor?
I lost my virginity once.
You can only lose it once. How many holes has this person's body got?
I don't know.
It's like having it off with Swiss cheese.
Tell the papers... Well, we can't do that anymore.
You can't do that because that's all falling apart.
Tell the papers Trev and Matt are together. That's surely more believable than Trevor having sex with an actual woman.
Hey, that picture of us, of you two carrying me out of my house was published in a newspaper.
Which
Was
one?
it? Or somewhere, I don't know where it was, but someone told me they'd seen it.
Okay.
We was like, the photographers went outside my house, so we goes, oh, let's do something unusual. So what we did was, like, Matt and Trevor rolled me up like a carpet. Well, they just held me like a rolled up carpet. I didn't need to actually be rolled up because I've not got the qualities of a
Excess
carpet.
skin on his back.
Lot of excess skin. We rolled that stuff right up.
He's just like a big pink sausage roll.
Hey, don't say that. I'm like, at 1 minute I'm white and pasted, next minute I'm like sausage roll. I can't win with you guys. Then they carried me out of my house like I was a carpet under their arms.
Threw
and
me
the
out.
photographers had to take a photo of that, and they did. And if you've seen that photo, let us know, 64046. Enter the competition to see Cocky Trevor Lockie. Enter all the competitions that we've set out today. Oh no, we've got a winner, haven't we, for that other one?
Yeah, they were on the line, but
Where
somehow
are
they...
you? All right,
fell
we'll
off
get
the
it back.
line.
We had to do that phone call thing, didn't we? Right, now
did.
remember that competition we were on about earlier?
Indian summer.
Yeah, Indian Summer to go
Why
to
is
that
it called
festival.
that?
So
Will
shambolic.
they be serving Indian food?
Yeah, it is shambolic.
No,
actually.
Indian summer means late, doesn't
A
it?
late summer.
It's late summer. Oh, because
Yeah.
it's in September.
Yeah, that's right.
Fair enough.
That's when this festival will be. Anyway, we asked you that question, didn't we? About which Scottish band were the Reed brothers in. The answer to that question.
Oh,
Yes, Trevor?
I know the answer.
Go on, tell us it then.
The Jesus and Mary chain.
That is the correct answer.
Trevor, that was the winner who was meant to be on
But
the phone.
is the winner there? Claire Smith from Glasgow. Hello, Claire. She's not there, see? Okay, well, let's go to a track. There's no Claire Smith from Glasgow.
Do
on
I
the
get
phone.
to go?
No.
Trevor got it right. Trevor, you are the winner.
Easy.
You are going to that festival. You're going to have the time of your life. Matthew, don't play with your phone, mate. Matthew,
Matthew's
we're on the
lost all
radio.
interest.
This is the radio
Just
show.
let himself go,
What's
Russ.
the matter?
You can talk, both of you. You've always got your
We're
phones on.
not during links. We don't like during the here's the radio show do stuff like that. What
What's
is
that crackling?
I
unbelievable
think that's the
crackling noises?
listener from Glasgow communicating like a dolphin.
I do apologise for this. This is Russell Brand Music Show for Six Music. Enjoy it while it lasts. And on the phone now we have Claire Smith from Glasgow, who has won a contest. Claire, are you there, darling?
I am indeed, thank you. Hi.
Claire,
we
what
can get
about
phone
that? Alexander Graham Bell, over 100 years ago, invented a little machine, and just today we've worked out how it's used. So, well done. You've won a competition.
Thank you very much.
Tell us, where do you live?
I live in the south side of Glasgow.
Of Glasgow. And
Brilliant.
where is this festival?
It's in the west end of Glasgow, but
And
you can go across the river
You
sometimes.
can okay. So you can cross that river. Don't you remember when you two called me cynical, going, "Oh, it will be a person from Glasgow, I'll win it because it's easy."
Yeah,
That's
but
exactly why I put Glasgow in my text. 'cause
Well
that's the way
done.
I would win.
You flagged that up. That was.
But I think Six Music should take you there in a golden carriage.
I think you should go in a golden carriage. Claire, if you're forced to travel in anything other than a golden carriage, you've been cheated out of your rightful winnings, I think.
You're right.
So, do you know about this Indian Summer Festival?
I do indeed, yes,
Are you excited to go?
I'm very much so, I can't believe I didn't get tickets the first time because I'm a big Fall fan for years.
Oh, well, that was the last opportunity. Was a Fall-related competition, was it?
Not the Fall are playing.
The Fall are playing at
Aye.
Indian Summer.
Are they?
Yeah, you read it out about
Brilliant
4
competition.
times.
I don't remember
The way it
reading
meant
out
the
Fall.
autumn.
He thought the Fall, yeah, he didn't know what it meant.
I thought that it was I thought, it's in the fall, Indian summer, it's a late summer. Okay, well, jolly well done, though, Claire, winning that competition. I'm happy for you. I just hope you enjoy the golden carriage. Trev, what do you want to say,
Well, she
darling?
hasn't got the answer right yet. Did she say what it was?
Oh, yeah, go on, say what it is then. It's a formality.
Jesus, Mary Jane.
It's Jesus and Mary chain. That's what the Reed brothers were in. The Reed brothers were in the Jesus and Mary chain.
Good to check, though, Russ. Good to check.
We listened to a bit of Jesus and Mary chain
Good
just
band,
then.
I think.
All right, no one's attacking them, Matt. You know.
Bobby Gillespie used to play the drums in them.
Did he?
Yeah, I remember seeing them playing where they played in a hole for like 20 minutes and then beat up the audience. They were great.
Were you
Played
in
in
the
a hole?
audience?
Well, they're a Glaswegian band.
Hold on,
yes,
Trevor.
That's
That's racism. Racism
why is
from
that
Trevor.
racism?
Because you went because Claire goes, oh, they played in a hole for 20 minutes, then they beat up the audience,
Yeah.
and Trevor went, well, they're a Glaswegian band, as if all Glaswegian bands do.
I'm not saying all of them do, but it's quite common.
Trevor, back away from the racism, Trev.
I'm not being racist.
He's being racist, isn't he, Claire? Confirm
Glaswegians
it.
aren't a race.
Totally.
Racism. The Glaswegians aren't a race.
like
You're being
the Glaswegians.
prejudiced. You're being hateful.
I met a Glaswegian
Don't
bus
jab your
driver.
finger at me. Oh, you met a Glaswegian bus driver.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, that gives you the right. Geez, Black, why don't you say that the series Roots was absolute tripe or something? Do you know what I mean? You've not got the right just because you've met a Glaswegian bus driver.
He
to
was
say that
driving a
everyone-
bus. He was driving
What do you
a bus.
expect him
he
to
lost
do?
everything gambling, and he had to drive a bus up and down the Avenida Arequipa to get his money back. It's brilliant.
Well, Trevor, that does not give. Interesting though that may be, and it isn't. That does not give you the right to attack people of Glasgow, does it, Claire?
No, it does not.
I don't want to attack him. I love him.
Claire, I'm glad you've won the competition. A part of your prize should be to be able to whip Trevor Locke naked through the streets of Edinburgh on his way to the Gilded Balloon Wine Bar for his ill-fated show at 4 o'clock today. Come if you want. Why don't you come, Claire? I can see there's a problem. No, I wouldn't want to come either. So it's like Claire, I mean, when invited to the show, I don't know, there's good things on the telly.
Oh, my leg!
Oh, I've been shot. I'm in Glasgow. There's gunfire everywhere. That's what you think, Trevor. That's what you think Glasgow's like.
I don't know anything about it.
Well,
you
then
ever been
stop
there?
attacking it.
No, I've just met a Glaswegian bus driver.
And that gives you enough authority, does it, to attack
Is
the
that who
whole
you
city?
keep texting?
Yes.
Right, stop texting everyone. Both of you, right, that's it
seen him
now.
for years.
I'm
Take your phones
texting
away.
about something important
You-
for
oh.
your birthday.
You
Next year,
lying
sunshine.
pig. Claire, well done on the competition, my love. See you
Thank you very
later.
much. Okay, thanks.
Well
take care.
done. Bye.
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 Matthew. Right, okay then. So, what are we going to listen to now, for pity's sake?
Peter, Paul and Mary.
Let's listen to
Peter,
young ones.
Bjorn and John.
Peter, Paul, and
Peter,
John.
Paul and Mary should be given a bit of airtime. For
I'm
Christ's sake, shouldn't they?
leaving
Hold on, before
on
we
a jet
go.
plane.
If you're having sex and dinner, don't forget to use a condiment. Quite good.
That's quite
Sean
good,
in
isn't it?
London.
Very good.
Who's
Good
Wipe
that?
your
joke.
mouth.
Who's that? Sean.
Sean in London. That's a good joke, mate. If you're having sex and dinner, don't forget to use a condiment. Good.
Really
Not
good.
condom, condiment.
Really good.
Hi, Russell, says Amy. Did you know there's an interview with Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen saying his wife fancies you and you're like the illegitimate child they never had? She fancies her own child? What's going on in the Llewellyn-Bowen family? Blimey, I'm flattered, but also someone contact social services. I think there are places in Japan, says Mark in Hornchurch, where you can eat and drink while there's a young lady under the table
That's true,
doing
actually.
stuff.
You
From
c-
Mark in Hornchurch.
You eat your dinner off the woman.
I'd like that.
You wouldn't. It's horrible.
Unhygienic. Yeah.
And also their backs aren't very flat. Things fall off.
Their backs aren't flat. Have you tried this, Trevor?
Try and put a mug
Where
down
are those
on a
Italian
Japanese
girls?
lady's shoulder.
I will not try and do that.
That's
You
another
hateful
racial
man. It is another racial slur. What are you saying? They'll probably kamikaze, flip the mug onto the floor.
I'm saying everyone's different, and the differences should be celebrated.
Oh, celebrate with your cruel jibes, with your cruel, hateful chants on the terraces. Trevor Locke, no surrender, cocky locky. What's wrong with you, Trevor?
Don't be silly. Don't lump me in with that lot.
No,
Right, come
sorry,
on.
Trevor. I love you.
Roll on.
Right, okay then. Trevor, I just wanted to attack you for not eating enough fudge.
Well,
and
if
to say-
somebody bought me some fudge, Russ, standing there with your hands on your hips like little Lord Fauntleroy. Where's my fudge?
You did-
That's my little chance to you. Where's my fudge?
Eat your fudge, Trev!
Where's my fudge?
Eat it!
Where is
What's
it?
his challenge for today?
Trevor, your challenge for today is to stretch your undercarriage so tight that I can see my reflection in it. And that'll be the best it's ever looked. This is Russell Brand on Six Music. I'm here, Matt Morgan and Trevor Locke, and some other people have joined us, the competition winners. Now, have you ever, Trevor, don't you dare do a single clap like that. You're not Jesus. So, guess what, right? Have you ever, were we just listening to The Strokes and Pearl Jam simultaneously then?
No, it sounded
I'd
just
like
like
people
Pearl
to
Jam.
text
to me.
Text us 64046, let us know what you were listening to then. God help us if we know. It's chaos in here. So, right, so we're going to do Trevor's Sonic Enigma, the competition winners from last week, Paul and Mark are here. Round of applause for Paul and Mark, everyone. Yeah, let's create atmosphere. Genuine atmosphere.
themselves.
Fair enough, they won a competition, Trevor. If they want to clap themselves, let them clap, I say. Paul, Mark, who was it that actually got it right? It was you, was it, Paul? Come nearer to the mic, darling. Pretend you're in the Beatles, but just try and get on with each other. Now, Paul, so how did you... right, what was the Sonic Enigma last week?
It was The Strokes, wasn't it?
It was Juicebox.
Yeah.
Juicebox. Stop kicking that mic stand, darling, because that
Sorry,
goes
sorry.
out on the air. God, I don't know. What's wrong with these lads? We let them in the studio. Craning, keep your heads within 8 inches of that thing. Just imagine it's each other's erect winkles, and you have to greedily feed upon it. You'd have to stay relatively close. So what? Who cares? For God's sake, we're all going to be dead soon. So what was it? It was Juice Box by the Strokes.
Yeah.
And what was the clue again? Just describe it for us a bit if you can,
It was
Paul.
quite straightforward, actually. I thought,
It was-
compared to most.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So it was the
was
sound of a
quite
juicer,
revolting,
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wasn't it the typical sound of Trevor committing a sex act alone in a room?
No.
Is
It was
What
sexed
was
up a bit.
It was
but-
confusing.
It was confusing and disorientating and difficult. Mark, and you're here as Paul's mate, are you?
Brother.
Brother?
Yeah.
You two are brothers?
Yeah,
Oh, it's
yeah.
nice that you get on still. Did you get on when you was children?
No.
No, right. I'm only child, so I don't know what it's like to have brothers and sisters. That's why I've also developed a personality where I only think the world exists from my perspective. That's called solipsism. Trevor,
You're being very selfish.
this Sonic Enigma thing of yours,
Yes, it's very tricky, isn't it?
it really is enigmatic,
I mean,
I'd
what
say.
a name. It really sums up the whole
Sums
competition.
it up. We've stopped calling it Trevor Done a Noise, mate. Have you noticed that?
Of course.
yeah.
We used to call it Trevor Done a Noise, didn't
It's
we?
trans-
just the
transcended
cycle of
that.
life. Things drop off.
Things drop off. That's one of your new satanic philosophies, is
That's
it?
right. Yeah.
Drop off.
Matt believes in Satanism now. He's
He
become a
does.
Satanist.
I
He
don't
has.
know,
He-
so that it was interesting.
You said, I am now a
what's
I haven't
Satanist.
come out as a Satanist,
What's
have I?
interesting about
You've
it?
come out as a
It's interesting.
Satanist. You go, so Satan is Lord.
Paganism, occult, not occultism particularly, but sort of, you know.
He said we should all do a Ouija board on the show and
did
tamper
not
with
say
forces
that.
that,
I
we
said-
can't possibly
So we
understand.
shouldn't do that.
All right.
I did a Ouija board with Marcus Turland in a lunch hour once.
Oh,
And
God.
just at a critical moment, his dad fell out of bed and there was a big bump on the ceiling.
Was his dad a ghost, Trev? Why does every one of Trevor Lock's stories involve a boot coming through a ceiling or someone falling onto a ceiling?
Or
Why?
a plumber fell out of a ceiling.
Plumber came through a ceiling, a boot came through a
It's
ceiling.
because he lies, but he's only got a very small imagination.
His imagination is the size of a tiny thimble,
Mate,
and all that's in there is a ceiling and a boot. So, but he wants to lie an awful lot. So every single lie, he's just got two component parts. Oh, one day I was walking down the road and I bumped into a couple of ceilings. One of the ceilings booted the other ceiling right in its ceiling shin.
I'll
Trevor-
say this to you, one man's ceiling is another man's floor.
Oh, cocky Trevor Lockett. And your flaw is that all your anecdotes have got ceilings in them.
Not true. What about
Yes,
all the
it is.
ones...
And there is a ceiling, a very low ceiling for your anecdotes, about 6 inches high, and underneath it is just a boot and a 19 anecdotes kicking around trying to be original.
There's
No,
one
they've only got
anecdote
two
about a boot.
ingredients.
There's one about a boot.
Oh, I was
There's
at
one about a
university
plumber.
and a boot came through a ceiling.
Yeah,
Went
that
on
was
for an hour.
that story
Do you
was the
remember that?
longest, most
It
boring
went on for
thing.
an hour.
People are still talking about it, oh Russ.
People
Yeah,
are.
they're trying to work out
People
what it
talk
means.
about being abused as children.
There's a
Trev. It's not
thread.
tribute.
There's a
But-
thread on the message board about the boot.
Yeah, there's really?
Yeah.
Really, Trevor? Well, instead of using... When you're on that internet, it's nice to see you using the internet for something other than grooming.
I don't go on it. I just get told about it by people.
Okay, dear. Let's do your Sonic Enigma,
Don't
shall
call
we?
me dear like that.
Do this... Right,
Why
so
have you been calling men darling and dear today?
Well, he's
I've
become all
gone, I've got
theatrical.
camp and I'm in Edinburgh. There's a fringe festival on. I'm remembering me actually roots. I've been getting off with fellas and all. I haven't. Not that there's anything wrong with that. So listen, let's Sonic Enigma. Have you made an irritating jingle for it, Trev?
Yes, I have.
Right,
it's very
okay.
irritating.
Let's have a listen to it. You won't. It's quite good, this one.
You're like Bjork.
I'm a little bit like her.
He's a dork. He's a jerk. He's a twerp.
God, it's going on too long.
It's already too long, Trevor.
You've got no concentration
Can I stop
span.
it?
No,
Stop
don't have a limited concentration
Stop
span.
it.
It's
Stop
good.
it, Matt.
It
It's
gets
too
good.
much.
Yeah.
What do you mean it gets good?
It gets good.
How long does it take to get good? It's still going. Alright, well, the ending's alright. But I mean, it's because
Put
it's
effort
the
into
ending.
that, and then you just get bored after about 5
boring.
seconds.
But why do you
Hold
do
on.
it?
Why do you
Why
do
do
these
I do it?
jingles?
Value added. I'm trying to do a radio show. I'm trying to take my job professionally, Russell.
Well, and that's the result, is it?
Yes, I thought that had very high production values.
Take an holiday, for God's sake. If that is you trying your
There was a
hardest to be
whispered
professional.
bit at the beginning, then I
It's
did all that
awful.
high stuff. You likened it to Bjork. What more do you want for a jingle?
All right.
Essentially, it's throwaway.
It's nice. Let's listen to the actual Enigma itself now, shall we? Oh, God, here we go.
Always that noise.
Odd.
Oh, here comes Bonnie Tyler, Hercules and Superman.
Something of heroes. Is that it?
That's it, mate. I don't know what
That's
you're waiting
it.
for. I don't know
But
what
what I'm
you're
waiting for is the normal 5 or 6 minutes that your bloody Enigma typically
I'll keep
consists
you on your
of.
toes, don't I? Never get complacent. Never think you can predict the enigma.
Never
Don't
think.
try and predict it.
That's the nature of an enigma. It can never be predicted. Trevor, that enigma is not an actual thing. If you... Let's hear it again because it's actually quite succinct. The usual noise of Trevor.
Oh, here comes Bonnie Tyler, Hercules and Superman.
You are an idiot, aren't you? Okay, so if you think you know the answer to that, text us on 64046 or you can email us. Also, email us about sex or dinners or both, as a lot of people are. Also, email us if you want to come to Trevor Lock's show at the Gilded Balloon Wine Bar, 4 o'clock today at the Edinburgh Festival. Should be a right laugh. Okay, let's have a quick listen to the Paddingtons. Later on, we're going to be talking to Jen Brister. She's a comedian here and our mate at this festival. And also, we'll talk more to Paul and Mark about squabbling as children. Talking of squabbling brothers, yeah, let's do this link and Matt Morgan will do it. Talking of squabbling brothers like Paul and Mark are, we're going to be talking to one of the original squabbly brothers. That's right, it's Mr. Noel Gallagher will be on the show talking about that as we were. And Matt will be doing one of his cultural review in between sending a frantic text trying to deny his actual self to a woman he used to go out with. We've got an email here from Darren in Manchester. Trevor could speak about a cartoon character that he has once had a crush on. Have you ever had a crush on cartoon characters, Trev?
I don't think so, but
Who do you have crushes on?
Wilma Flintstone.
Wilma Flintstone. We all fancied
Everyone
Wilma a
fancied
little
her.
bit. Did
Obviously,
you?
Jessica Rabbit.
Jessica Rabbit,
Jessica
sexy.
Rabbit,
Yeah, that affected me quite profoundly. I wanted to make her flesh. What do you mean?
Well, you wanted to go to the butcher's and try and build her.
Yeah, or a graveyard. I weren't bothered which. You know, just as long as I had a flesh puppet to call my own. Isn't that natural? Ain't that what every boy wants after they've seen Roger Rabbit? You used to say I had a personality like Roger Rabbit. Do you remember that?
Didn't I say you were like the evil man who dies at the end?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Anyway, it was all great times. Russell, says some fella. Alan, he's called. Russell, I've never had sex. Can you find me someone? Says Alan in Wigan. Oh, well, I don't know if I can. I'm not really a pimp. But, like, what you must do is just be nice to people and then ask ever so nicely. And I'm sure they'll be happy to have sex with you. I like that Alan's not specified gender or anything.
Well,
can you find me someone?
Yeah,
keep your options open. Who cares, Alan? Have sex with anyone, it'd be a laugh. But do use a condiment to reprise a joke from earlier there. Lovely little gag.
My friend used to work in a sexual disease
Trevor,
clinic.
is this a lie?
No, it's
Did
true.
if this at any point in this story a
There's
boot
a
comes through a
ceiling.
ceiling?
No, that
Tell
only
me the
happens-
story.
The boot only comes through a ceiling once, in one story.
Yeah, and
where
then a
boot-
plumber came through
No,
a
it's the
ceiling.
ceiling. The ceiling is the
There's no
key thing.
ceilings involved in this.
Well, so this was a
Right, let's hear the
open-air
story.
sex.
This was an
Open air with no ceilings.
She used to do it at Fate's church
You
fairs.
liar.
No, there was clearly a ceiling.
Right,
in
there
a
it goes, a ceiling.
Does this story lead anywhere?
Trevor, come on, tell us what
just
happened.
saying that she was a sexual diseases woman and she worked once in the...
Sexual diseases
she
woman.
was a doctor.
She was
and
a
she was a
sexually.
lady.
If you say she was a sexual diseases woman, people just assume she was ill.
She was an STD
Nurse.
doctor.
They don't have special
and
nurses, do
a
they?
man came in and
Man came in.
Man came in called Trevor.
What's the name of this mysterious man?
A man
His
came
genitals
in.
were
How did
falling
you see
apart.
this?
and he presented her with a particular issue.
What was this particular issue,
I
Trev?
don't know what it was, but the
Seem
point
to know
was
a lot
he
about
got-
it,
He
Trev.
got it from sheep and cows, and it turned out it was quite common where he came from in this particular part of England,
You racist pig.
where he had it off with pigs as well. Yes.
You disgust
Trevor,
me,
and you're,
Trevor.
and you're all
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, and he was, and he, you know,
Just keep taking the tablets, Trev, is what I'd
there's no
recommend.
tablets involved, and obviously I wasn't involved. We all know that that's not the sort of thing I do.
That's why that does it, because there's no tablets needed, unlike all his other sexual conquests.
All these other filthy little antics, you dirty devil. And there's no ceiling anywhere in this anecdote. Well, well done, Trev.
Thank you for that, Trevor.
Whole boring story without mentioning ceilings. I'd like to talk about sexual dinners, says someone.
again.
Fine.
What, that's it? That's all they've said?
Yeah, they'll get their chance. Trevor's stand-up competition.
Look at their day in court.
This is from Josh Vince. Trev should do a puppetry of the penis style 1 minute show using Russell's dinkle. Ideas include, says Josh Vince, a half-eaten vanilla flavoured mini milk lolly.
That's nice.
That's my Willie's in lovely shape, Josh. A half-eaten vanilla flavoured mini milk lolly. I love them mini milk lollies. They
were
are
good
They
mini
were
milks.
funny.
Why are you...
What?
What are you for real?
Yeah.
I love those mini milk lollies. They were funny, man.
Oh man, those mini milks.
What the hell are you talking
I
about?
liked mini milks.
He's actually crying, remembering it. He's got tears in his eyes.
I like the words as well, mini milk.
Yeah,
What,
yeah.
what were they? The
So imagine
white
being
things?
angry and wanting to... Yeah, them ones, they come in a little paper sock and you take it off. And then you've got your mini milk. You
Remember,
can
you
have
could
a
blow
pink
it,
one.
and the bag would
The
come
bag
off.
would pop. Yeah, and you go, what if you're angry and you want a mini milk? You go, I want a mini milk, I want a mini milk. But you have to say mini milk.
That's like that
Brilliant.
argument I had
Go on,
about
then.
croissant.
Go on,
once.
yeah, you did have an argument with someone. How did it go?
It was he put his meat above you know when you put
Bloody hell, you two! This better not end up in Trev's STD clinic.
he put his chicken at the top of the fridge.
Yeah.
you know, and you-
Still sounds like a euphemism.
Oh, come on.
He put his chicken top of my fridge. 9 months later, I had an egg hatch. Say an egg. I put the ointment on. It's cleared up now.
Oh dear.
Come on. So he put his chicken in top of your fridge.
Raw poultry in a fridge at the top because the blood might drip onto other things, and
you
it dripped
Jewish?
onto my croissant. Right?
It drips onto my
I had to have an
croissant.
argument with him with the word. When I was using the correct French pronunciation, croissant, no, it's dripping onto my croissant. And I kept having to say,
Your blood's all over my croissant. I'll carve you up. No mug
He's
was
going, no,
my
it's not none of it's
croissant.
gone on your croissant. It's gone on my croissant.
Can I just say you shouldn't be keeping a croissant in the fridge?
Why
Why
do you
not?
refrigerate a croissant?
Exactly.
There was a 12-pack.
Oh, that's disgusting.
you're a joke.
You buy croissant in a
I
12
used to. I was an animal.
You have no right
was
to
it
pronounce it with a
student?
French accent.
If it's in a
come in a
12
12
pack,
pack, it's
Trevor.
a croissant, and it's all.
It's not a croissant. Doesn't have a racist slur.
Just sounds like you're attacking the French, Trev. Why not? On
I'm
your endless
defending them.
diatribe
I'm
of hate.
defending the French.
Don't you jab
because-
that finger at me, Enoch, pal.
Look, I'm defending them. He's just taken one of their staples and he's ruined it by putting it in a 12 pack in a fridge.
Well,
Let us
someone
pack it in a
dripped
fridge.
chicken blood on it,
let
which
them,
is almost
let
voodoo.
Them, mate. Let them. That's better.
Trevor, are you not happy with this anecdote because at no point did a boot come through a ceiling and crush the croissant? Well, did that satisfy
Oh, how, when are you going to get tired of it?
you? Eat your fudge, Trev!
Where is my fudge, Russ?
We'll get some later.
Where's my fudge?
Right, also, in the suggestion by Josh Vince, in this puppetry of the penis that you could do with my dinkle, is an albino hiding from the police behind a tree. I quite like his suggestion. Josh Vince is funny.
He should keep.
Josh Vince,
sending
you're
stuff
funny,
in.
mate. You should accompany this tiny show with a short musical piece by those two children who painted his leg black. Oh, remember when Trev had his legs painted black? That was funny.
Yeah.
Continue this. Josh, I've not got a small dinkle, and you're mad to suggest that I have. Darren Apana, what a nice name, says, when we send something, on my ship it is called a
Can
cargo.
you read properly,
Yeah, not
please?
really. When we send something on a ship, it's called cargo. When we send something in a car, it's called a shipment. For 1 minute, Trevor could explain why this is in his stand-up show. I'd love to see him perform as Darren in
I'll
Manchester.
do that.
That's
I'll do that.
interesting.
He's in Manchester though, so he won't win tickets.
Come!
I'll do that anyway.
What about Trevor last night when he goes, "Oh, I'm playing at the Bongo Rooms,"
What an idiot.
and it was actually playing
Drag this off
at
to
the
the Bon-
Roxy.
How could you? He goes, we're going playing at the Bongo Rooms. We go to the Bongo Rooms, knowing that the best we're going to get is 20 minutes of torturous tripe from Trevor Locke. He ain't even playing at the Bongo Rooms. He's playing at a place called the Roxy. There is no assonance. There's no similarity between the sound Roxy and the word Bongo Rooms. What's wrong with you, Trevor? It's like saying, oh, should we go and see Judy Garland play? Oh, so I meant Public Enemy. Why do you make these mistakes, Trevor?
Maybe I wanted to throw you off my trail. Maybe I wanted
did
to do
as
my
well, 'cause
comedy
then
on my
he
own.
ditched
Have a
us
quiet
later.
little-
Trevor,
Yeah.
if you'd not had us there wouldn't have been an audience at that
That's
gig.
true.
And it
That's
certainly
true.
wouldn't have appreciated you as much as we did, humouring you like an old man eating soup. Hello, boys! I often like to enjoy my dinner with a bit of sex. Oh, God, we've had that. Right, okay, so listen, right, lads, now
Yeah.
come on. We've all had a laugh, haven't
Yes,
we?
we have.
What?
It's going well.
Trevor,
Bam.
why is no one entering Trevor's competition?
Why aren't they? What's happened to the...
Why are you two not reading out text messages and emails? Matthew, read
Here's
out
one.
text messages and emails.
Hi, Russ. I think you're a delicious licorice stick. Love you,
That's
fungo.
good.
I
I
said
I'm not
read
reading them out.
out
Good
an
reason.
email, not express your actual feelings for me.
I'm just shy. This
Silly,
is it
silly
in
boy.
crayon in my handwriting.
Ridiculous business. Trevor, read an email.
Right, you're in The Independent on Sunday, described as a synthetic rebel, says Neil from Kilburn.
Synthetic rebel?
Yeah.
Blimey. Well, how synthetically rebellious is this? Not really. I am a synthetic rebel. But, well, you know, I'd rebel against things that are worth rebelling against. Why? Only the other day there was... oh, right, probably because of the podcast that was pulled, because when we talked about Addy not being allowed into that Club Movida because he was
But
disabled.
why synthetic? Why synthetic?
That was a genuine rebellion, wasn't it, about Addy not being allowed into that Club Movida because he was disabled and
Don't
attacked
do
by
it.
the doorman.
Don't do it again.
I don't think that's very synthetic or rebellious.
You're going to stop this podcast.
Oh no, we just won't put that bit in the podcast.
Oh, really? What a sensible
thank you.
solution.
Thank
What
you.
a
We've done it
sensible
once.
compromise.
Right, it's got to go in the podcast.
No.
About Movida.
Please, I had a love-
because he's in a
I
wheelchair.
had a lovely week away in Cornwall without all this.
No, you didn't.
I
You
did.
missed me.
I didn't.
Did you not miss me when you was in Cornwall?
No, not really.
Later we got Matt's Cultural Review. Later we've got Trevor Cocker. Oh, actually, we better do some of these things. Let's listen to a track, then we'll talk to
And
Jen
enter
Bristow.
the Sonic Enigma, by the way.
Enter the Sonic Enigma,
What
for
do they
God's
win
sake.
if they get that?
I don't know. They
come to the
come to the
Reading
radio
Festival.
show at Reading.
Yeah,
Free
but
tickets
that's
to the Reading
probably
Festival.
because we'll have to get them a pass. To
I
get in.
don't know how it works, but you'll get to come to the Reading Festival
If
anyway.
you can climb a fence and answer a competition,
You could be in with the treat of a lifetime if you don't mind being pursued by angry dogs.
BBC Six Music.
Okay, let's welcome our guest to the show. First, Jen Brister. Welcome to the show, Jen Brister. Hooray, away. Welcome to you, welcome. It's exciting, isn't it?
Incredible.
Let's welcome our other guest, Tamsin Stewart. Welcome, Tamsin, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Right now, okay, both of these women are performing at the Fringe Festival in different capacities. Jen, let's have a bit of a chat with you first, dear. What are you doing here at the Fringe Festival?
I'm doing a one-woman show at the Pleasance Courtyard at the Hut at 8:30 p.m.
At the Hut?
Yes.
Right, okay. You said the
like a hut.
details.
Yeah, the Hut. It is
Other
exactly...
pizza shops are available.
Ah, well done, Trevor. Good.
dun.
Undue prominence. He deals with problems like that very efficiently. So, okay, so you're performing one-woman show. What is it, stand-up comedy?
It is stand-up comedy, but it has a theme to it.
Oh, a theme, you say?
Yes, it does. It's the
What is
theme
the theme?
mother-daughter relationships.
So anyone who is a daughter or a mother...
Yeah, but I mean, you know, if you've got a mum, it doesn't matter.
You're right. Oh, because you won't go...
daughter.
You won't
could be a
go,
son.
I'm not a daughter, this means nothing.
Exactly. Although I have to say, my target audience has been middle-aged women.
Really?
A lot of middle-aged women have come.
That's good,
to the
isn't
show.
it?
No, it's wonderful. They're all
Nice to
welcome.
have
They're all
middle-aged
welcome.
women. Okay, and how's it going? You enjoying it? What was the problem?
Well, no, it's not that I'm not enjoying it. It's just that I'm not.
Come on, dear,
enjoying
what's the
it.
You
problem?
keep texting me whinging about
I'm
how
not
we're
whinging,
lonely
I'm
you
not
are.
What's wrong with
whinging.
Edinburgh? Don't you like the
Listen to
Edinburgh
my voice.
Festival?
I love the Edinburgh Festival.
Are you not having a nice time here?
No, it's not that I'm not having a nice time. I'm just a little tired.
You're tired?
It's that I think it's that midway through the festival, a little bit jaded.
Is it, 'cause you get jaded midway through a festival. I don't. I like the middle bit. That's the highlight.
You've just got here, though.
You've only just arrived, Russell, with an entourage of like a million people.
Hang on a minute.
I'm on my own, flyering for 4 hours a day.
Oh no,
I
that
have to
can't be
hand
nice.
out, I have to work it.
I had to do that when I first came to this festival. I had to do it on my own
didn't though,
flight.
did you?
No, I
You
hired
didn't.
children to do it. But that was you could hire children to
I've
do
actually
it.
got a helper.
These were good, those
I've managed
children.
To get a helper.
Who's your helper?
Her name's Tracy.
How old is she?
I
Trevor,
don't know.
stop trying to have sex with people's helpers.
No, I'm just saying.
What's
you
wrong
might
with
like
you?
Her. You might like her, Trevor. She's
And if
a
they
lesbian.
were a child?
She's a lesbian. Oh, of course I like
You'd
her.
like her, definitely.
Another doomed romance for you. What I did, innovatively, is I got 3 children that lived opposite the venue I was at and got them to do flying for me, but as it turned out, those children were quite naughty. Matthew, concentrate on
I'm
what we're
writing
doing.
my
This is the
cultural
show.
review.
Well,
this is the show.
I'm
Write
writing
your
my
cultural
review.
review when you're not doing something else.
Well,
Silly, participate in the
I'm
radio
listening
programme.
to
It's
everything.
actually happening now. This is the radio
I'm
show.
listening.
Okay, you know, there's not going to be another point with it. This is it. This is life. So, okay, Jen.
no, I would have got children to help me opposite the venue I'm in, but unfortunately, opposite the venue I'm in are the Portaloos, so that's about it.
There could be children there. Don't
There
rule
could be
that
children
out.
in there. There
Have
could
a
be-
look.
there's, yeah.
Also, though, the thing is, go steady on that because those children that helped me did end up being quite naughty. They did come they spat at people in the queue. They came into the venue, stole condoms, and gave them to me as a gift, which I was actually flattered
What?
by. They came into the venue where the office of the Gilded Balloon, where we were performing at that time. They're only little lads, and they one of them was a girl. They're about that big, 3 foot tall. I don't know how old that is.
That's very
I don't know
young.
how old
Children
you are.
at all, they were
Can't
adults.
age children.
Sounds about 6 years old to me.
So one of them was definitely about 6. Then there's another one, Frankie. He was a lovely lad. And right, and but they were naughty children, and they kept setting fire to things and stuff. It was good promotion for a while. People were coming to the show, but then the social services eventually came. It was very difficult, and they stole condoms from the venue. And go, oh, Russell, we stole you these condoms. They were quite worldly wise for
Well, you
children.
got something out of it then.
Oh yeah.
Why did
yeah.
they know that you needed condoms?
They're
Do
just
you think they were
smart
worried
kids.
about your
Suggesting
your
something to the
habits?
kids.
No.
Oh, I'm worried about Russell. I think he's not using condoms.
No, them properly. Yeah, so I don't know. They'd picked up something from somewhere, but that's probably why they need one. No, let's leave
Oh,
that.
God.
Blimey, whoa,
I wonder
easy,
how old
steady.
they are now, Russ. Do you think
They'll
they're
be about.
8.
I'd love to find those kids.
If you're listening to this show,
And
They
you
should-
were.
they should
One was
call
called
in.
Frankie.
call in, Frankie.
He won't be listening to this.
He'll
I
be
reckon.
listening
to this,
He's probably
isn't he?
inside by now. They were naughty.
If you still need a job, Jen Brister.
I need a flyer.
Needs a flyer.
In fact, anybody that wants to fly for me, please call in and
I can't use this to
No,
put to
I
look for
can. I can
flyers.
totally
No, you
use it.
can.
Absolutely.
Go
thanks,
for
Matt.
it.
What it's for.
Call in now, and I'll pay you £5 an hour.
Brilliant! What an offer.
Wow.
Tamsin, what's your?
Hello.
What's
Speak
your?
to you after the show.
Tamsin, what's
Trevor,
your?
go on.
Shut up now. What's your experience of the festival like?
Well, I'm
Tamsin?
an Edinburgh virgin. This is my first festival.
An Edinburgh virgin, so you're
Yes.
approaching it sexually already?
Yes.
Does that mean
It's hard not
that you've
to.
never been to the festival before?
I've never been to
Or-
the festival before, performing at the festival.
I see.
And I'm doing Cabaret Spectacular
Where
every
is it
Friday
on?
and Saturday night, plug, at the Pleasance Courtyard Cabaret Bar at midnight. And our bar's open later than
Is it?
anywhere else.
So you're
in the
luring
Pleasance
people in to get
Courtyard.
drunk?
Well, you know, people like to have a drink, don't they? On at the weekend. I did last night, hence why I sound like Frank Butcher today.
You don't sound like Frank Butcher. He sounds like this. Tiffany, no!
All right. I've just got a very, very husky voice today.
It's nice.
Yeah, so it's
Is
going
it going
very
well?
well.
Are you enjoying it?
It's brilliant.
Okay, you're seeming much more upbeat about it.
I'm having a fabulous
Are you
time.
doing your own flyering?
Yeah, and I'm agreed with Jen on that.
It's not
like
nice
pouring yourself,
flyering.
It's horrible.
It's not nice trying to get people to come and see something that you're doing.
Yeah,
Just want people to
exactly.
come.
What if in case they recognise you and go, hang on, you gave me the flyer and you're the person who is it?
No, it's just
No,
feel
it's
like you're
expected
invading
here.
people's space all the time. Going,
Right.
It's part of the culture. This Edinburgh Festival has its own culture. There's this place called the Royal Mile, and all that Royal Mile is alive with people giving out flyers, some in costumes, people looking for ever more original and innovative ways to give out flyers. But only one young man, for what I'll do is I'll get poor children to do it, it distracts them from, all sorts of chaos. All right, so what we're going to do now is have a little listen to some news, find out what's going on in this crazy world of ours. Jill will do a poem to wrap up the show at the end. We've still got Matt's cultural review.
Which I couldn't
which is
write because I got told off.
No, because you're doing a radio show. You can't do that.
Right.
Sort of say if in the middle of a football match, Wayne Rooney goes, "I'm just doing keepy up," so we'll go, "Oh, good that you're practicing, Wayne, but this is actually the match now."
Read that.
Yeah, I'm not. You're writing about Cornwall. Great.
Cornwall, a review. History. And it says the word
Just
pin.
do a cultural
Imagine if I
review.
took that attitude into my Sonic Enigmas.
Imagine
You
it,
can't even
Matt.
say it. Sonic.
At least when he does it, he's concentrating on actually doing it, not gobbling pills, texting ex-girlfriends. It's just for the farce. It's an absolute joke. Okay, so let's talk to Noel Gallagher. He's on. Are you all right, Noel?
Yeah, I'm all right. Are you all right?
Well, yeah, I'm okay. Why do I sound like I'm not all right?
That makes two of us then.
Well, all right, we're both all right. I see you're
We're all
adopting.
right. Yeah, we're all right.
What's this confrontational stance you're adopting right at the beginning of the conversation?
Oh, get on with it, Russell.
Have you been listening to the show?
I haven't. No, I've been watching the football this morning because you're clashing with goals on Sunday, and I'm afraid.
Okay, fair enough.
No, I've just switched it on now.
Are you going to go on to? I was going to go on to Tim Lovejoy's Soccer AM. I said
You should do, because not a lot of people know that you're into football, do they?
No, well,
They
I
just
don't
think
go on
that-
about it.
They just think that you're into sex.
There's something that you constantly plug on my behalf.
And dressing like a vampire.
Dressing like a vampire, vampiric sex. There was another. If you hadn't been watching Goals on Sunday, you would have known that there's been another. There's been a kiss and tell on me done from 9 years ago, in which
You should have your own programme called Girls on Sunday, and then you'll go on talking about.
That'd be lovely. I'd like to get Girls on Sunday. Could be a lovely show. Oh, well, let's just have a look at that moment again. Oh, that's glorious. Well, fantastic work there. Unfortunately, the dribbling was a bit poor. Stuff like, hey, what about that? Come on.
So there's been yet another kiss and tell, has there?
Yet another kiss and tell, Noel. This is from someone I had it off with about 8 years ago. She describes me as being skinny and pasty. And my delicious moves, my brilliantly...
Are you sure that's not a typo? So it's not skinny and tasty?
Perhaps it's that. Perhaps skinny and tasty is what they meant, but they do reiterate it several times. And my painted Russell Brand sex moves have been described as being like a rabid dog. A rabid dog, she says I like, and I had a crazy look in my eyes. I was like, I'm ever so good at the old sex. Bloody cheek of it.
Well, I can corroborate that.
Thank you.
Can he?
Very sweet of you to say so.
The crazy look, Trevor, not the rabid dog.
Oh, right. I thought you were just saying you'd been to bed with Russell Brand.
No, Trev.
No, not yet.
I mean,
Oh, it's on the cards, though.
No, it's definitely on the cards, and that'll be some kiss and tell. Let me tell you that.
Now there's
I
a
hope
front
I'm doing
page
some
splash
work
for
above the ceiling
everyone.
on that night.
Trevor, stop going on about ceilings. So, yeah, what's up? You've got the flu, have you?
I've got lifestyle flu.
Nice, because you've just come back from a beefer. Oh, we've got flu.
Yeah, we all got messed up out there, man. It was good though, but you still, you got nightclubs meeting dirty people and stuff.
Yeah, did you have a nice time meeting dirty people?
Yeah, we had a good week. I went out to see Kasabian. It was good fun, but kind of got back here and just fell apart basically.
Did you? Yeah, you need to have a little rest. Who was you there with? Sarah, your girlfriend?
I was there with my missus. I was there with the Right Honourable Scully.
Scully?
Scully, yeah, also known as Sir Horace Gentleman. I was there with him, and the legendary DJ Mike Pickering.
Well, I'm glad that you're having a lovely time out there, but you've come back and you're falling apart at the seams. We've been talking about sex or dinners over the course of the show. A lot of people have been seeking to combine them. It'll tell us a lot about you, Noel, which of these two topics you choose to give us an anecdote on. Sex or dinners that you've had. What have you got for us? Well, that sounded like sex. Also,
yeah, I can't give any sexual anecdotes, obviously.
No. Well, I mean, I've spoke to your girlfriend. It's a terrible business. What should you describe?
Are you up in Edinburgh?
Yeah, we're in Edinburgh. We're at the Edinburgh Festival. Are you coming to watch me?
I might do. She's from Edinburgh.
Sarah's girlfriend is from Edinburgh. Come up to the festival.
Well, you know they've erected a statue of her on Princess Street because she's going out with me. You know that, don't you?
Well, naturally, it must be an honour for the city to see one of their children, one of their daughters, going out of a confirmed yob.
Yeah, absolutely. Are we going to come up? Maybe, I don't know.
Come and see my show. And also, if you were coming up today, you could see Trevor Locke at the Gilder Bloom Wine Bar at 4 o'clock today.
Might give that one a miss.
Yeah, I mean, people are in their droves, Noel. People are disgusted. People are protesting outside the venue saying it shouldn't be allowed. It's
so
like
have you been playing every night then?
I got here yesterday. I did my first night last night. It was brilliant. Really went well. Yeah, it's good. It was a laugh. You'll like it. Come and see it. It's a really good show.
Well, I mean, I like it anyway. You know, I like it anyway. You're a very funny guy.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. You should come up and see this one. It'd be really nice to see you up here.
I might do. What's this cute thing I keep saying advert and tell you about your new TV show?
It's my new TV show that me, Matt, and Trevor making. It's called Russell Brand's Got Issues.
I know what it's called. What's the advert all about?
Well, I just was trying to make myself look important, so I thought. So we came. The idea they had was like, oh, it'd be a good idea. You're a bit like a bull in a china shop, Russell, aren't you? That's what your personality's like. How about you and a bull in a china shop? I goes, oh, I don't think that's a very good idea.
You're not like a bull in a china shop.
I'm not, am I? If I was in a china shop, I'd be buying some fine bone china, perhaps a nice tea set.
You're like a small puppy in a sex shop.
Hey, now, what would a puppy be doing in a sex shop? It wouldn't be there long, would it? Poor whimpering brute.
Well, you're doing what you do is like hanging your tongue out the side of your mouth, dribbling.
Oh, come on, you paint a pretty ugly picture of me for a man who, mind you, we should expect from your lyrics, your command of the English language is not the best. I'm just surprised the sentence made sense in any form, but just a string of admittedly nonsensical words.
Yeah, well.
Oh.
We're going to tell it to my swimming pool.
I'll argue with you millions. They're still dwarfed by James Blunt's fortune.
Argue with that when you're in your little, your little paddling pool around the back of your little one-bedroom bed sit in Camden, wherever.
Right, I'm going to...
While I say to my gardener while he's whizzing past on his lawnmower, he's been dissing me again.
Sounds a bit dangerous. He wants to slow down on that lawnmower. There could be a terrible incident. You'll end up like Keith Moon. Listen, well, okay, Noel, you've been delightful in insulting and belittling me on my own radio show.
I'm ill.
No, fair enough. No, that's quite understandable.
An anecdote about sex is I can't give you, obviously.
Or dinners that you've had. Can you cook?
Dinners?
Can you cook? Do you cook?
No.
Or do you have cooks whizzing by on roller boots, knocking you up some yobs nosh?
Luckily for yobs nosh.
That's what I imagine you eat. Pies.
The yobs nosh.
Yeah, yobs nosh. That's what Matt eats.
That sounds like a sexual act right there, doesn't it?
It could be if you're in the wrong company.
Luckily enough, Rusty, my missus is a fabulous cook, so I don't have to get involved in the kitchen.
That's nice. Now, I imagine
it is nice,
I hope there's similar arrangement going on with the sex. I hope that she can cater for that as adequately.
Well, not in the kitchen, though, because that would be unhygienic.
Certainly would be. No, Matt won't even let chicken near a croissant. That story's probably made him throw up in his own mouth. Hey, Noel, have you got any suggestions for, like, Trevor Locke, right, as a competition for people to come and see his show? He'll talk about anything they suggest for 1 minute during his show, and then they can come and watch him talking about that thing for 1 minute. Probably be the best 1 minute of that hour at 4 o'clock at the Gilder Bloom Wine Bar. Have you got any suggestions of something that Trevor could talk about for a minute, Noel?
Religion's always a good one.
Trevor Locke on religion.
Okay.
As suggested by Noel Gallagher, we can say.
Yeah, but that's a bit serious, that one, isn't it? What about... Oh, no, that's quite offensive. Hang on a minute.
It's different watching you going through the roller deck of your mind. Oh, right. Oh, a cup of teas, drugs. Oh, that's fine. Just offend everyone on the planet. Okay, so think of something not too offensive that Trev can talk about for a minute. Perhaps he could talk about the career of Oasis for 1 minute. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Listen, while we're on Oasis, what were all these disparaging comments you made about me in the enemy?
I didn't make any disparaging... What is this? I've not read that in the enemy. What disparaging comments?
You said...
yeah, go on.
You were going on about my arthritic shoulders and saying that Oasis having a best-of out, that's a bit rich coming from someone who's been ripping off the Beatles all his life.
Blimey!
Eh?
I didn't say that.
I wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't say that. I like Oasis.
It was attributed to... There was a picture of you.
Yeah. Did I look handsome?
No, you look like a vampire. And beside it was those exact quotes.
Saying, what, it's a bit rich at Oasis having a tribute, like Oasis as a Beatles tribute band, having a best-of album. Their whole career's been a best-of.
Because you knew I was out of the country, didn't you, Mr. Smarty Pants?
I thought, he'll never know.
Did you? You didn't say that, did you?
I might have said, and then what was the thing about it'll be nice to see Noel with his arthritic shoulders floundering around?
Someone was saying, you know this gig you've blagged me into doing?
Yeah, Coco, to raise money for Focus 12, 2nd of November.
How come... that was very professional, that one.
I know I'm doing.
They were saying, how come that I'm allegedly supporting you, and you were saying he doesn't want any... How did you...
Oh, yeah, right, because he doesn't want any more burden on his already arthritic shoulders.
So you have read the quote, then?
I haven't, I just remembered saying it. But I didn't say that, and anything I said about you and your magnificent career was in jest. I have nothing but respect for you.
Yeah, well, you didn't on my guest list is just now shut up.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, blimey.
Yeah, well, Scully will be coming now.
Oh, bring all of your crazy cronies. I'd like to...
Hey, they're not cronies.
Well, I'd listen, you're the one who says you've got gardeners whizzing by and cooks and chefs, and you've always on about flunkies.
They're employees. My cronies are disciples.
Disciples now. That's it, why don't we, if it's Sunday, there's offend Christianity. Go on, there's only other religions you'll ever pop out.
Hey, listen, if you want to offend Christianity, bring it on.
All right. Why? I don't want to particularly offend Christianity. I like belief systems. Nice to believe in things.
By saying that the old belief system in God is actually a farce.
My belief system? Whose belief system?
An old religion is a farce.
Oh, right, if Christianity's a farce.
Well, of course it's a farce.
Christianity is a farce.
Yeah.
To tirade, says Noel on a Sunday. I mean, yeah, so I'm not really that into it. I like Jesus, though.
No, he didn't exist, did he?
Oh, I think there was someone. Was Trevor, did Jesus exist?
I think he existed, yeah.
Come on. He might have done.
Someone lived.
Says who?
The Bible says it, doesn't it?
It says it in the Quran.
Really?
Bible, Quran,
Yeah.
any book you want to mention.
And the Dead Sea Scrolls mention
Dead
a man
Sea
called
Scrolls,
Jesus.
no.
Yeah.
And who were those books attributed to?
I don't know, some bloke. Look, what you want?
Matthew, Luke, John.
Those guys.
They're in Hollyoaks, that lot.
Lovely.
All right.
The Gospels are in
What
Hollyoaks.
was Matthew's surname?
Matthew.
What's his surname?
Matthew Bible, he was.
You can't just say Matthew. Matthew who? Luke who? John who?
I don't know, but they're so famous that it's a bit like
it's
the
all
Beatles.
about the Bible, schmeibel.
No, fair enough, Noel.
2,000 years of thought and academia, intelligence, all just.
He said that you didn't want Trevor to talk about religion for 1 minute in front of 12 people at his show in the Gilded Balloon Wine Bar, and you have just said on our BBC radio show that Christianity's a farce.
It is a farce. All religions are farce.
Well,
It's better if it says all religions are farce.
all religions are a
Well,
farce.
let's
That's
tell you
better.
why. You know, in the Bible,
Yeah.
does it mention dinosaurs?
Does not mention.
It's not about dinosaurs. It's not one of those books.
It's not Indiana Jones.
It's not encyclopedia.
Doesn't mention Temples of Doom either, Noel.
End of argument. Let's talk about sex, baby.
Okay. Hey, let's talk about sex and the Bible. Let's really jam.
Yeah, well, does it mention sex in the Bible?
Yes.
People begat each other, don't
Yeah,
they?
it mentions
Abraham
a lot of
begat
sex. It's
people,
all
he
about
begat
sex.
him.
Don't lay down with animals.
Don't lay down with animals. Trevor Locke ignored that one.
Everything else I follow, though.
Oh, come on, I've never laid down with animals. I've got up with a few, though. No, let's get you off before you say something that gets us murdered. Come up and see me at the Edinburgh Festival. I'd really love to see you. Any slanderous remarks I'd like to deny.
I wouldn't mind coming up and sitting in on a discussion about religion with Trevor Locke, because that sounds like it could be explosive.
Let's
It could
do
be
it.
really
Let's do it.
explosive.
We'll do a special midnight show, and it'll be you and me live in discussion in front of a studio audience.
Hey, you've got my phone number. Anytime you want to duke it out about religion, Sonny.
Duke it out about religion.
I do.
What's that? Make everything into violence. What's wrong with you?
I can see the poster now.
Crikey.
Trevor Locke and Noel Gallagher duke it out over religion.
Jesus
Hang
Christ.
on a minute. Why would your name be first?
How are you billing yourself before Noel Gallagher in this religion showdown,
I've
Trevor?
got previous at the festival, you
How
know.
many records have you sold?
He's not sold any, but if you should see his criminal record, by God, there's some interesting information.
Well,
A lot of it.
I reckon I've probably got a longer criminal record than he has.
Yeah, you probably have. Now, don't start going on about all them burglaries you've done and that. We had trouble with that last time. So, Noel, come up and see us. We've got to go because we've got to play music before the end of this radio programme that we do.
Yeah,
it's lovely
well-
talking to you. Give my love to your girlfriend, Sarah, and
Play Spirit
your
in
brother,
the
in
Sky.
fact.
Play Spirit in the Sky.
We're not playing Spirit in the Sky. We've not got Spirit in the... Play Spirit in the Sky! Play Spirit in the Sky! We're not playing Spirit in the Sky!
We're going to play
Play
God
Spirit in
Gave
the
Rock and Roll
Sky.
to us.
Listen, we're not playing that. No, thank you. We might do. We'll try and find it. We'll try and get it for you.
See you in a bit, man.
See you later. Take it easy. Ta-da now. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Right, well, now we're going straight to the... Bye, Noel Gallagher. We're going straight to the winner of the Sonic Enigma. OK, now remember earlier we did the Sonic Enigma. Can we have a listen to that to remind us of what it was? Remember, this is Trevor's competition, the Sonic Enigma. Let's have a listen. The usual sound of Trevor meddling with himself.
Oh, here comes Bonnie Tyler, Hercules and Superman.
OK, so what do you... who's on the line, then?
Susie.
Susie? Are you there, dear?
I am here. Hello.
Are you all right? You've been enjoying our radio programme?
I have indeed. Yes, I have.
Bit shambolic because we're up in Edinburgh, but we're trying our hardest. So if
And how are you liking Edinburgh then?
Love Edinburgh. Love Edinburgh.
beautiful
Beautiful
city.
city, beautiful people. Everyone's friendly. We're having a gas. Shows are selling well. Not Trevor's, obviously. No, Trevor.
Stop it.
What? Stop what, Trevor?
People don't know that you're joking, do they?
Oh, people don't know.
I'll get more abuse on my MySpace in a minute.
Someone put "eat your fudge, you see." That's terrible.
Yeah.
I do actually love Trevor. It's obvious, isn't it? Okay, Susie. So you've managed to unwrangle the enigma.
I have, although I would say it's pretty tenuous. I really didn't think I had it right. I thought I'd just text it anyway. It's a bit of a vague one now, Trevor.
Go on. What do you think it is?
I think it is Time for Heroes by Libertine.
Is it, Trevor? Is it Time for Heroes?
Jolly well is, Russell.
That is the correct answer. Well done. You can come and see us in Reading next week, as long as you can get tickets. I don't know. We'll try and get you in, Susie, for that. That is the prize.
Where do you live, Susie?
I live in Glasgow, but I can travel.
You should have entered that other competition.
She lives in
You'd have had a
Glasgow.
chance at
Well,
getting
come
the
and-
prize.
come
Right
to
at that
Edinburgh.
point, though, so.
Why don't you come and
up
see
here.
Trev this afternoon?
When's he on for, did you say?
4 o'clock, wine bar, Gilda Balloon. Be brilliant.
I
We'll all
can-
be there. We're all going to be hanging out.
Oh,
You
I
can't
might do
come.
that.
What? Are you coming, Susie?
I may.
You. I may. Let me be clear.
What is wrong?
She's not committing.
Will someone please come to my show?
We're going to come. We'll be
It's going to
there.
be inundated. It's going to be brilliant.
I need to sleep before that.
Oh, don't sleep during it, Matt. You're not going to miss much. So, Susie, okay, my love. So you've won that competition. Let's. Well, are we going to hear? Have we got time to listen to that track and then get another one?
At the end of the show.
We're going to listen to that track at the end of the show. Susie, it's been lovely talking to you. Congratulations. Well done. We'll sort out your prize. Take care,
Thanks,
love.
Russell. Bye.
Ta-ra now. Bye, love. So, okay, right. So, Matt's cultural bloody review. We've got loads of things to get on with. Matt, culturally review something.
Cornwall is really good. There's lots of history there, and I went on a horse.
Well done. Didn't you go to caves?
I went to some slate mines.
Tell me
Honestly,
something interesting. What's that
Cornwall's-
thing about witches?
The roads are too thin there.
The roads are too thin.
Very
there.
dangerous driving.
And what about you put witches' boobs in or something?
Yeah, witches were treated very badly. There's a witchcraft museum in a little village called Boscastle, and it's run by witches.
Witches run it. Do they
Yeah.
look like witches? They got witch hats on.
They're not. No.
That's the stereotype
Well,
against
actually,
witches.
the woman, one of them does look a bit like, the average.
What do you
witch.
mean? What, long chin, long nose?
No, just sort of.
That's what witches look like.
Wizened
Walt.
old lady.
Walt on the side of her head.
Look, shut up.
Waltz.
It's not all about witches. There's a
It's
lot
not
to
all
do
about-
in Cornwall, and it's really
It's
good.
not all about witches. That new slogan
But,
for Cornwall.
when I was on the horse.
It's not all about witches. We got other stuff.
When I was on the horse, it
Yeah,
was
mate,
scary.
hey, tell me about it. I had an awful time. But go on.
Horse is a word for heroin. If you don't realise that.
I was about to do a great joke. The show's coming from Edinburgh. Come on.
Oh dear.
I'm only joking. I love the people of Edinburgh. I love this
There's
city.
not really time to go into it, but it's scary.
Why were you
on a
riding? I didn't know
horse.
you were on an horse.
I went on a horse.
Do you know how to ride an horse?
No,
It must
it's
have been
scary.
absolute madness.
It's like being on a big coward that's scared of cars.
Horses are just big cowards.
They are huge, muscly cowards.
Ooh, it's a car. I'm afraid. Turn back.
And you have to
Kick it
be quite
into-
rough with them and stuff.
Do you?
You have to kick them to get them to go
Blimey.
and pull their reins to get them to stop. It's
You don't-
scary because when it sort of shuffles and sneezes and stuff, horrible. No one ever do it.
Sure, you run a horse.
I think
Sounds
so.
like your love life,
It was-
dear. It shuffles and sneezes, it's a coward. Of course it is, the
You
poor
were jumping
sod.
on the back of an old man, riding him around the corner.
No, it
weren't
was
you?
definitely a horse. It was huge. It was called Ruby.
Ruby the horse, he was a
Yeah.
girl then, wasn't it?
Yes.
They've got 3 sexes, the horses. That's
No,
interesting.
they've not.
They do. They've got man, lady, and gelder.
What's a gelder?
Wow, it's the third one, isn't it?
That
Really?
means he's had
It's
his
the
nuts
third
chopped
sex.
off. There's not a third sex.
What, is
Trev.
that a man-made sex?
I don't know if it's a man-made sex. I don't know. What's a pony and what's a horse and what's...
Trevor, I'm not getting into this. You just claimed there's a third type of horse. It's called a
what's
gelder.
pony? Well, they're measured in hands, aren't they, horses?
You know
Well,
less
that's
about
true.
horses than I do, you maniac.
asking you
My
a
review
question.
was
Trevor,
rubbish because of
Matt, in
Trevor.
short, yeah, you ruined his review. Eat your fudge.
Cornwall's beautiful.
They
It's
do make fudge.
unspoilt largely. Beaches are lovely. Tintagel Castle. Oh, it's beautiful. I'm going to move
Beautiful
down
place.
there one day.
No, you're not. You've got a lot to do.
I am.
right,
I can
G,
still live. I'll still come up and see
You're
you.
not going to Cornwall.
Desperate little twit.
G's here. Let's give him some atmosphere. Yeah, all right. G, sum up his poem. Sum up the show in a poem.
Okay, this is basically dedicated to Trevor, and it's called...
Why?
No, it's
Why? He's
called-
an idiot.
It's the ballad of the fringe performer, for all the fringe
Fringe.
Ballad.
Right
You
at
don't
the
deserve
edge.
a
I've got
ballad.
a flick more than a fringe.
Good people. Oh, you idiot.
Abandon all sleep. Abandon all sleep, ye who would find solace complete amid these Edinburgh streets. Abandon quiet nights in, ye who would speak of its delights and its treats and its sights of promise ready to be seen. Abandon those fears of the dark, ye who would willingly embark upon that fanciful flight of crafting their artistic dream, believing it may be their start. An epiphany of performance greatness, a distorted symphony of voices, a millennia of different stages, recorded simply within miscellaneous pages, reported critically by ever-watchful sages, bestowing the wages of joy and despair, based solely upon their allocation of stars which in accordance exclusively gleam. Bring me your show of burning gold. Bring me your flyers of desire. Bring me your 5-star reviews, oh clouds unfold. Bring me your glamorous agencies, I'm available for hire. Yes, abandon humility, reservedness and fragility, for ostentation and extravaganza form the order of the day. Abandon all reality, bathe yourself in sweet insanity, imbue concoctions of elixir vanity, and let the spotlight's clarity lead the way. For our stars will rise and fall between each curtain call, but right now, we are lost in the enthrall of cheers, tears, and hopes of a performing career, so abandon it all except the sheer abandonment of it all.
Poetry!
Poetry.
An actual poem!
It's no relation to Trevor's act, though.
Probably the best poem you've done on the show, but you didn't talk about like Trevor and us and that. So it was
I'm
like,
trying not to insult Trevor today. That's what I tried to do.
really?
Thank you.
No,
Well,
no, it's a show.
Why?
It's a show.
It's the natural order of things.
People like
you.
insulting
Thank
Trevor.
you, Tamsin.
We've got to
Thank
support
you.
him for his show.
No, well, listen, we've plugged that show through. You may not have noticed. I mean, I'll pretend to not like him. I've plugged his show for 3 bleeding hours, trying to drum up an
5
audience. to
o'clock
watch that
at the
tripe.
bongo rooms.
4 o'clock, don't say
Get
that.
down the bongo rooms at 5 p.m.
it's not
You'll
the bongo
see your
rooms.
sight to blow your
It's not-
mind. It's 4 o'clock at the Gilded Balloon Wine Bar. We'll all be there. It's going to be a fantastic
2
laugh.
people
Come
have won
down.
some tickets.
In
2 people have won some
Glasgow.
tickets.
Who's going to play us out? Why? It's the Libertines, of course. A Time for Heroes. Thanks for listening. We're in Reading next week. Take care.
BBC 6 Music.